I've been in the dark about a lot of things in my life that I had to come to the light and really see. And I've been blind by a lot of things I've seen in my life that I wish I was in the dark about. I need balance.
Shout out to Andrew Douglas.
Alright. Now what's gonna be the conclusion? What if I told you everything that you see in illusion? You might think you breathing air, but it's being polluted. Can't even drink no alcohol without the demons included. That's why me and my spirit love being secluded. Let my soul drift off when I feel the music. I know a lot of things ain't being right. Just because you can see don't mean you see the light. Don't get blinded by illusions, they can be so bright. You can become a blind man that don't need a sight. You can become a woman that's gonna need direction. Take a look up at her face, can see the stressing. We being restless, getting no sleep. Baby, we can play naughty, I ain't gonna lie. Look, you gotta rest your game body. If you never woke up in a game realm, you sleeping, thinking you awake now, but you been really dreaming. Yeah, yeah. You haven't seen nothing. Yeah. You haven't seen nothing. Yeah. You haven't seen nothing. Yeah. Living in a world of illusion. I ain't never seen a day that was a good morning. I bet you wake up every day and yell good morning. Screaming yellow, gave a fuck how many sins done. I bet your stupid ass think you only live once. Just based off what you see, it's just hopeless hell. Just be quiet, man, a person always show theyself. Once it go in your emotions, now you know it's felt. You could lose your soul, based just off the moody tones. When a person wants you to come visit their world, everything going circles cause you live in a swirl. Everything is just picture referrals, it ain't the pain or the ink that was needed to make you think or believe it. Damn, it's the flight boss, you can't duplicate it. My whole life, I was trying to get illuminated. Don't even matter, I be looking offensive. Gotta pay attention to anyone that push an agenda. Goddamn. Yeah, you haven't seen nothing. Yeah, you haven't seen nothing. Yeah, you haven't seen nothing. Yeah. Living in a world of illusion. Yeah, you haven't seen nothing. Yeah, you haven't seen nothing. Yeah, you haven't seen nothing. Yeah, living in a world of illusion.
From that PBS. Oh, Sam, real stunning. You ain't seen nothing. You ain't seen God. Yeah, I ain't seen God. I don't believe. Every day, I know I don't believe it. You ain't seen nothing. That song become deeper and deeper every day. Y'all ain't seen nothing. I believe it. I'm starting to believe it. None of y'all ain't seen God. I know it for a fact. It's Flight Boss. Sad backyard barbecue, neckline face, baby back red kneecap face. We're gonna break down some energies right now. We're gonna break down, moon and Cancer. The moon at home. What I tell y'all every time a planet at home, you put yourself in the shoes of the planet, and you think about when you at home. Especially like days like this, you probably got your belly all full and things of that nature. Get ready to sit your little rubber gut and thigh caps on the toilet, you know what I'm saying, and make it all warm and stuff like that for the next individuals that probably need to take about 10-15 minutes before it even is safe. You know what I'm saying? Fire extinguishers and sage and the bath salts and stuff like that, incense oils and stuff that still may not work. And all the windows already open because it's hitting summertime. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, a lot of y'all inside bodies smell like death and toxic waste because it's full of Taco Bell and Ziploc bags of mayonnaise and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And sauerkraut sauce and, you know what I'm saying? The goddamn kielbasa sausage. You know what I'm saying? That. Onion, peppers, and lettuce on top of it. All of that. You old sea salt salad and a tuna fish face and all of that. And all that, just like it's good and tasty. It's hot. It ain't hot enough to burn, but it's hot. Like pancreas relax all day. I'm getting up early, first thing in the morning. I'm saying real stuff. You know what I'm saying? No me being have to be stiff and can't get up for like 3-4 hours. It ain't no me. Not with this that. MOB, man. Hey. The finger. Hey. I don't want to go to that. These cats had me in the studio that day. It's the only way they had sounds and stuff like that. They all said they had me in the studio that day. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Gonna get real on the moon and Cancer energies and stuff, so y'all don't get too emotionally thrown out, because the moon, the emotions will take over. And what did I tell y'all? Every time a planet is at home, put yourself in the planet's shoes. You could become lazy. You know them dishes need washed. You know that nappy carpet need vacuumed. You know what I'm saying? That nappy carpet look just like your goddamn husband, Jewish bucket hat beard. And you talking about you ain't got a vacuum because it's Father's Day. Thank you so much for the cash app. Just be free. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? In the coffee pots. You know what I'm saying? You got the crib, you know your bed be made. You know what I'm saying? You know that pillow sheet need goddamn washed, all that little slobber on the side of it and stuff like that. You know, you can't even sleep right because you know you smelling your breath and stuff like that. Now you know that pillowcase need washed. You know what I'm saying? Like real stuff. You think these energies ain't about what it is, but you might feel like you need to relax, especially like this Father's Day. So it's just like, synchronicities that the moon is in Cancer right now. Oh, I'm saying, get dumped. Blinkety blink blunk right now, based upon how you observe something, because you felt something, how you felt like it. Thanks so much for the donation, Mooney Mercury, baby, soul group in this diggity thing. Appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I don't say this because you feel like it. There's a lot of that energy going on right now with the moon in Cancer, because you feel like, oh, it's a tap with the beat. You don't want no outcome like the beginning of the Menace to Society and Tradie, get in your room kind of energy and stuff, because you privy to somebody getting slanked. You know what I'm saying? Somebody getting smacked and whacked and stuff like that with like firearms and extinguishers and stuff like that for unwarranted spirits. So, you know what I'm saying? You got a peep game and stuff like that. You don't want to be in that energy because you in your feelings. Your feelings could blind you from what's actually going on. Your feelings could misjudge and cloud your judgment. Your feelings could take you down the wrong directions. Your feelings can make you put too much gas in your spaceship, your frequency, your thought, your idea, the man version of it, how it looks. You can have too much feelings, and now the car don't go nowhere because it's too heavy. And then you be trying to find other people to help you move your spaceship, aka in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension, help you with your mind and your circumstances you manifested from that. And can't nobody budge it, can't nobody move it for you, and you can't move out of it. And then look at it, it looked like in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension as a circumstance or situation you stuck in, and that all your emotions is invested in it also. And that's when you put too much gas into a spaceship, and negative water on that seed at that. All the fruit that you experiencing from it is bad seeds, bad water, bad gas. You put the wrong gas. You supposed to get unleaded. You ain't got no tow truck. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no goddamn semi truck that be on the goddamn freeway. And you ain't got no new car that you need octane and stuff like that, like the stuff that Uriel be the incense oil stick candle refrigerant filter system. Your thronked out self, you need to go ahead and be with regular 75% society, unleaded. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's 79, sometimes it's 82, depending on what city and state you in. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much for the donation, Peter. Oh, I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Soul group in this diggity thing. Man of the soul group. Make sure y'all people out his channel too also. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't get no octane, or you can't get that big semi truck gas and stuff like that. And that's how y'all emotions be too strong. That gas too strong for your radiator and alternator and stuff like that. Your car ain't gonna go. Your spaceship ain't gonna fly nowhere. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna stay stuck in that same space that represented. You know what I'm saying? The mind, the spaceship represent the space you in, and don't nobody want to go to that location in the esoteric world, because they don't want to be in low spirits. All you can make is low flunked out spaceships there, aka low mentalities that don't go nowhere. So heavy, old cinder block face, old juggernaut head. You know what I'm saying? You can't go nowhere but through your grandma's wall, and she live in a house name that was built out of misery blocks. You know what I'm saying? So you got a peep game right now. Moon and Cancer get you flunked out because it's comfortable. So, if you got Cancer in your chart, you automatically might feel comfortable with flunked out energy. Thank you so much for the donation, Jen. Boom, boom, soul group in the stickity thing, man, in the soul group. Appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Real stuff. So, yeah, during this particular time, we got to make sure we don't be in some emotional front, especially during times like this. You're going to have other individuals around that things may just bubble up that you already uncomfortable with, that it just wasn't the right time for these things to bubble up. And right now, with that emotion start to take off and things of that nature, here you might redirect a conversation where it doesn't necessarily need to be amongst family, friends, associates, or people that's close to you. So you have to be careful. The moon could get you flunked out. Now, you probably already failed and planted a few bad seeds today. And tomorrow, try better luck tomorrow. Don't do too much catch-up energies. Thank you so much for the donation. Core, score, soul, man of the soul, with this thing. I appreciate that from bottom of our real stuff. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, don't get too emotionally thrown out and stuff, because you could redirect the conversation into an area it didn't necessarily need to be, just because it was time and the event played out that it was like a perfect event for it to bubble up. And it was probably something you've been frustrated about for the past few days, weeks, months, however the case may be, due to the fact of everybody in a position of having to play small percentage levels of vampire energy or parasite energy. Because, everybody ain't bullshit, but the past individuals that did bullshit is still on a percentage scale. People who didn't bullcrap for the past 3 years, they still wasn't doing everything. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget, people still had life and stuff like that. Like, a lot of y'all had a large percentage level of seconds, minutes, and hours that had to go to the job. That's not saying something wrong with that, because you still getting a check. It's just saying that it's small things we have to do in our lives that still took us off from the full potential that we was really well, not really supposed to, but that we could have expressed during the time of, all these shifts and stuff like that, and making it important not to be backed up and having to play catch up and plant bad seeds and stuff. But by default, just by us having life responsibilities. But it's all about doing things as a like you're trying and things of that nature. Therefore, at least that you're trying, you even the odds. So you want to make sure you're doing more on this percentage scale than this percentage scale, and that be more of the outcome and things of that nature. And a lot of times when we have small percentage levels of things that we have to do in our lives, that by default it accumulated at us bull crapping towards our gifts and talents, we could transmute that energy. Because if we let it accumulate too much, it become a whole day itself. You know what I'm saying? A couple minutes here, a couple hours in this day, a couple hours after this week, that accumulate as a day and a week itself and stuff like that. So it's really just about transmuting the energy. And even when you are in these events, finding small percentage things to transmute while you are in these events. Therefore, you're pushing the energy more on the percentage scale of favorable minutes, seconds, and hours that you're putting in, even at the times that, external events forces you to react or respond in a negative kind of energy, and forces your spirit in a space that it doesn't want to be in. So teamwork makes the dream work. You automatically have to be aware of that space, develop a spaceship, and then start developing two sides of it, masculine and feminine, bring it together as a child, a spaceship, to observe the circumstance that you in. And by default, you end up manifesting small subsidiary versions of that if you don't know the percentage level. And you let an event externally make you be heavily invested in it, even if it's out of your favor. So you have to be careful. But at the same time, when you in these type of circumstances, this is talking about spiritual growth. And if you can catch yourself, even when an external event force you to be in a spiritual space, to be aware and develop a thought that force you to manifest more situations like that, you can catch that while you're in the middle of the event and transmute as much as you can, no matter how much you is. Some people in jail, they learn how to become the best artist while they're in that jail cell. So that's a small percentage level of how they can attach excitement or the gift through it all. It might be very small throughout that circumstance externally that will force you to not even have a small percentage level of any of that kind of creative ability or space for God. But when you even show God you're trying, and even how much you're reaping with your soul, you're able to find a small percentage level in that circumstance, then for the most part, that's when you find all the gifts, the abilities, the talents, the expressions, and things of that nature that'll take you right up out of that circumstance and allow you to be in a position that you never have to experience that previous circumstance again. You see what I'm saying? So it's all about mind joggling and stuff like that, knowing what you're getting ready to start. Whatever space you in, you're going to spark an awareness. That's a collection of thoughts and feelings. Then that starts a line of reasoning and train of thought that becomes your events. For an example. Now, in my real life, I'm not going to break down the details or anything of that nature. Had me wanting to go get a coffee break. You know what I'm saying? And that was a space that's needed to prevent me from expressing myself in a way that I know probably ain't necessary, but it can be justified. So I'm already in a certain space based upon external people, places, and things. Now, the thoughts and feelings I develop in that space become the spaceship in that space. So now it's the way I'm thinking and it's the way I'm feeling. Now that's the type of time I'm on. So it bends in on itself and become my blood and my organs and my adrenaline to get up and take action. And I directed the action because I'm the more powerful spirit to say, let me just go to the store or something like that before I have to cut somebody out. Now, in the meantime, I'm still in that space on the way to the store. So being aware in that space, the spaceship is still accumulating, traveling in that space. So I'm looking around in the city. In a 1, 2, and 3rd dimension, that'll be developing more thoughts and feelings on what you want to express before you expressed it, though, with your organs. So that's representation of my spirit being in that space. So it's already manifesting in front of me based upon I'm on the same time as other spirits if I'm aware of them, which they are in cars, driving on the road, and we're aware of each other on the same time. So that event is already manifesting. Now, as I'm on a road, in this space, being aware of the spaceship that I'm inside of that represent that space, in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension, all of us as spirits, bugs, animals, the air particles, all the spirits inside of all the forms, all of us is creating this event for us to all make this time that we're experiencing together to be aware of it. Or I wouldn't have been behind that specific car, or it wouldn't have been that specific car behind me. Now, the car in front of me, it was a car in the opposite lane that lived in the house in the lane of us going straight. So, you know, they would have to turn on their turning signal and wait till all the cars drive by for them to go in for them to pull in their driving place. So as we coming down and they're coming up waiting, they ain't even had their turning signal on. The car in front of me, they just pull right in front of them like they can do it. They had a breath. They looked like they was doing it smart too. You could feel the energy. You could tell when someone do it by accident or when somebody do it just being smart. Like, you know what I'm saying? They in a rush. So that's how the energy was. And I seen it too. So the car in front of me, right? The car did it. You could tell it was in a slick energy, almost to the point the speed that they did it to, for it not to be close enough that the person would have to beat the horn, but it was just fast enough for you could know you got disrespected. And if you would have went faster, it would have been an accident type stuff. So as that happened, they pulled in front and we're still going, right? So by that happening, the person on the passenger side flicked them off while they was driving off. So it made me feel good because by me being Archangel Uriel and being wise, right? I was like, okay, I'm experiencing humans I control expressing that energy for me. So I don't have to be in that energy. I can express it like I am them. And that flicking off was feeling good. And it's not even my situation. Because, you know, I am the world down here. This is how Uriel look at it. You know, so y'all humans can't understand it from that perspective. But I'm just giving y'all. Now, but for the most part, boom, I'm like, all right, boom, they did it for me or whatever like that. So that made me smile, whatever like that. And then I didn't have to experience that while being in that space, but transmuting, driving through that city in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension in that type of mental spaceship. You know what I'm saying? So this is how you transmute energy. And whatever I direct it towards creatively, you know, I do all things. Business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics. Pretty sure it's going to allow me to be Doelowdapilotman known somewhere else in the world. Just like how I do it everywhere else. You know what I'm saying? Because we all got the same 24 hours. We just got to all come up with an alchemy how we do it. Now, I don't count. Don't try to use my specific plans because I don't count. I'm Uriel. Like, I already got the cheat codes and stuff because the world is made out. So I am the cheat book. But when y'all want to find things and codes in the cheat book and stuff like that, that's what my live streams before. And I'll be little dropping them here and there to remind you what you already know. Because this is how you got here. Then everything I'm explaining, I just remember it because I did it more than you. So anytime you hear about angels being somewhere, okay, yeah, we did it more than you. But now you forgot or you're unaware. Some of y'all are old spirits that ain't forgot. And some of y'all are brand new spirits and y'all here to experience. But both of those are polar shifts to find the equilibrium of the platform that I'm explaining to y'all how we all got here. So basically, even if you've been here and forgot or you just brand new and you're trying to learn to experience. So you're here to enjoy yourself through negatively and positively. Uriel's here to teach you through equilibrium right now that What you've been doing now is what you always been doing, and for the most part, I ain't teaching you nothing. I'm only reminding you what you already know, because there wouldn't be no such thing as you even being here or being here long enough for you to forget how you got here. So I'm only reminding you what you already know. Yeah. So for the most part, we got the Sun in Gemini, Moon in Cancer. So, you know, specifically with Moon and Cancer, I was just breaking that down. That was what that whole dialogue for the first 20 minutes was all about. Now, making a correspondence to how it's going to look like the Sun. So it's going to look like Gemini. So all that emotional energy and things of that nature, or this flunked outness, or being lazy when it comes to having emotional intelligence because you already in a comfort zone, how the Moon and Cancer can play out, is going to be expressed in the way it's going to look in the world, and how other people are going to express it to you is going to be filtered through Gemini. And this is how you're going to be expressing it. Now, you may have debilitations on expressing it, but you still have to do it if you are the Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or Mercury specifically, in Sagittarius, Virgo, or Pisces. But due to the fact of, you know, being a Gemini, you may also fall short to the degree. But if you're here to be an example for us, so if you're a good spirit in that chakra of Gemini, then, you know, you might got good natures for us to automatically look at, to be like, we should use that as an example of what to do and what not to do. But, you know, if you're a flunked out, lost into your desires type Gemini, then for the most part, you're going to be the front row seat of an example of what we shouldn't be doing. Now, so for the most part, you know, Cancer energy, with the world we in, the Moon, is going to look like the Sun, where the Sun is at, how the alchemy shape up, and how because it's divine feminine, divine masculine. So the divine feminine is the energy, right? Is the gas. But how do the spaceship look? You know what I'm saying? And where is it going? That's the Sun, the divine masculine. You know what I'm saying? So the divine masculine is built in the world, but what world is being built? The divine feminine. So the divine feminine doesn't have a look. It's internal. It's feminine. It's freezing. I'm trying to see if it's freezing. Is it freezing? Oh, okay. There you go. All right. So, yeah. So, for the most part, yeah, the Sun is building what the Moon is. You know what I'm saying? So, the Moon, so this is how it also correlates with male and females, also. You know what I'm saying? The female has a certain vibration, and the man has to express a certain image in order for the female to feel comfortable to open her vibration and allow the man in her vortex. Right? Now, if the man ain't expressing a certain image externally, divine masculine, that represent the comfortability of her divine feminine, then she's going to feel, keyword, uncomfortable with allowing this man in mentally, emotionally, and physically. You know what I'm saying? Or allowing him to construct her thoughts that she may be unable to express, aka internally, divine feminine. Thank you so much for the donation, Andrew Douglas. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. So a lot of times a man has to show himself that he's changing the world to look a certain way, and the female have to express or be a certain way in order to be valued, in order to inspire the man to change whatever she's correlating to be changed, and things of that nature. So that's where it become a team effort. But they have put y'all in competitive energies, from what I have seen personally as Uriel. Because, you know, I'm a teacher, so I look at everything from an observation of humanity. And, you know, intervening and looking at humanity itself based upon, you know, everything that's popular in business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics, and how it's filtered through the sheep mind and humans and demons and things of that nature. I come to realize that they have put y'all all in competitive energies and things of that nature, where y'all are competing in areas that y'all don't necessarily need to compete in, where y'all actually all can flourish at. But I ain't gonna get too much into that. But yeah, Sun and Gemini, Moon and Cancer. So for the most part, yeah, we all gonna be reacting and responding to some emotional comfortability, but it's gonna look like Gemini. Communication, talking, sharing ideas, or over analyzing things in our head. So you may get a lot of passive aggression or introverted energy, or, you know what I'm saying? So you might be an individual that's having a lot of internal mind chatter about your emotional stance on something. So don't let Cancer put too much emotions in the Moon on your mind, so you look like an individual that's just thinking too much and not even communicating. So that's the debilitation of it. But it's healthy for us to take these emotions right now, even if they're pent up ones with the moon in Cancer, and express it in a mutable airway, because that's what the universe wants us to do. Well, fuck the universe, but for the most part, that's what you should be doing in some way, shape, or form. You should be making it look like Gemini. So you should be expressing negative or positive, so these things could be outwardly expressed and they could be dealt with, so they could float and become lighter like a cloud. And a circumstance or situation between you and your business, entertainment, or your career, or the people that you're involved with, can become lighter, and it'll be heavy and things of that nature, where it doesn't necessarily needs to be. Now, also, so you need to make Cancer energy look like Gemini right now, or you're gonna plant more bad seeds and tower moments and blockages. Also, we got Moon sextile and Jupiter in Taurus. So, this is going to create opportunities to even make justifications to why you shouldn't communicate, due to the fact of, the left brain and the yin side of it, the feminine version of the left brain, which will be Earth. And the moon is going to take more sides of that. And it's not necessarily hitting the sun or Mercury in any type of angle. It's just right next door. So it's like minding its business, and they have to force each other over each other's house to be frustrated. So since the sun and the moon is not necessarily conflicting in any kind of way, and it's just how you deal with it, every now and then you may take, or you may choose more of the side of the moon, due to the fact of it having more help than the sun, because the moon is getting helped by being sextiling Taurus energy, which is Uranus and Jupiter. And for the most part, with the moon sextiling Uranus, it's creating opportunities for you to take this emotional comfortability and either spend money, have a friend, family, or associate, or have a personal space or circumstance that you could be stuck in. And it can look like consistency to you, but to others it can look like stubbornness in some way, shape, or form. But you may think it's consistency because you may have the ability, or the objects, or the money, or material, or the manifesting, or maternal energy, to be able to be secure in that, so a person can't tell you doing something wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like having a crackhead in somewhere that you can't tell them to stop smoking crack, because they go somewhere selling a whole bunch of canned goods and stuff like that. So, you know what I'm saying? So if they keep asking to borrow you money, that's when you'll be able to tell them something. You could give them some money and give them your 2 cents. And once they get tired of hearing your 2 cents, they might want to go ask another family member or something like that, because they flunked out. But an individual who know how to get it on their own in some way, shape, or form, because you always see them with a buggy full of cans and car pieces and stealing pieces from embedded houses and stuff like that, right? It don't matter how much you really say it and things of that nature. If a person got their way on their own to sufficientify themselves in that manner in some way, shape, or form, then it don't matter what you. So that's that kind of delusional energy that this could put you in, also with the moon sextile Jupiter and Uranus. So you have to be careful of these kind of energies also, because I'm just making that as an allegory, but take that circumstance into all your subsidiaries in life. Like a lot of y'all individuals may make more sense why you need to play the game more throughout the day and things of that nature, than actually be more productive and stuff, due to the fact of, and then you had the money, the moon, the comfort zone, emotional, connected to the video game, and then it's sextile Taurus and Jupiter. It gave you the actual product or the money to be able to go get it, and make it seem like you need to spend more time on that than actually being productive in some way, shape, or form, due to the fact of, and then that would get you distracted to communicating, or answering your phone, due to the fact of being distracted, comfortable with that video game at the moment, and justifying it in your mind like it got something to do with spirituality or something like that. Because y'all have to be careful, because sometimes I could be at a fault because I'm a teacher. So, be careful when you're listening to certain astrologers. Like I said, even myself, sometimes when I'm in my bag, or certain tarot card readers and things of that nature, because you could find yourself getting your ego fed for negative actions that you're doing and things of that nature. And then you'll be thinking you're doing the right thing because somebody is saying, Cletus go, gas bitch, yes, and claiming that other people is going to meet their demise because of whatever ritual or spell you're doing. And a lot of times you'll get led on the wrong path in your life, because you'll be getting cheered on for actually negative things and stuff like that, and things that really not even really there. So you have to be careful of that too. because it'll get all singled out and stuff like that, and you'll be meeting your own demise. So you have to be careful and be aware too. So you're doing enough shadow work and self-evaluation, and you're not getting led on to be like, oh, so if I do this spell on this person that did something to me or something like that, oh, that's what this reader is talking about, or this astrologer or tarot card reader is talking about. But a lot of times what's not being talked about is the percentage level of things that you did in a relationship, because it takes two. And that's the reason why circumstances are what they are in the first place. And if we're not attacking those issues, we're leading people on after they're listening to us to think that they've done nothing wrong. And whatever's happening to other individuals is based on God singling them out and claiming God has chosen them as God's favorite. And we can't be leading people on in the world like that, because the world wouldn't be in the condition it's in right now if we wasn't doing that. And I don't really do that, but I'm just showing humility right now, because I can sit up here and say F y'all, this, that, and the third, or whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm Uriel. I'll be deep in spirituality. So even fake spirituality that don't think it's fake spirituality presents itself, I cast stones and stuff like that, but I ain't in the mood for all that right now. I got stuff going on in real life. I'm saying, the human's ego trip. Like, and if you watch my channel, you will be aware of that also. You know what I'm saying? Humans ego trip and stuff like that. Like, where you could kind of like, they could be sitting somewhere thinking what you doing is because of them, and you somewhere doing what you doing because you're trying to survive in this diggity thing and stuff like that. So you just be getting other weird fart clouds and stuff like that out of nowhere for no reason. And you just on some path because you have to do what you have to do. And if you don't do it, you're gonna fall off. People gonna look at you like you ain't nobody. And I know I gotta be here for my daughter. I'm saying real stuff. So I'm not really here for nobody's flunked out thought forms and feelings and stuff. And F this, F that, then I would do this, then I would do that. When if I don't continue to do what I do, my daughter won't have no cereal in the morning with no milk. You know what I'm saying? So like that, everything else is for the birds, and a dodo one at that. So those type of thoughts and feelings don't take off. You know what I'm saying? Participating, being lost in other people's worlds. And y'all got to understand that, and then really sit there and adjust another person's world to see if that's even something productive in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So at some point you have to understand people are just secret narcs, and they need something fulfilled, and you might not have that gold or that gem to fulfill it. So you need to get the F on, and kick rocks, and don't be sitting around and things of that nature being unproductive. Because everything could be transmuted. Everything could be conducted in a sufficient manner, and that should be what life about. And then when you meet someone who match that energy, it will be easy. It won't be complicated. The only reason is it could be complicated if y'all in two different spaces. So it's complicated for y'all to share the same space. So that's like manipulation going on. I don't know if it keep freezing. Oh no, it's not. That's like it may be manipulation going on. There may be hidden things going on. So, when any relationship is starting to be built, one person got a few suitcases with things in it that they're never ever planned on revealing. Other person may have a suitcase and it's all open. They ready to buy furniture for the submarine spaceship and things of that nature as a relationship. And they ready to buy tables and stuff like that. They have their clothes and drawers and stuff mixed with the other individuals or family, friends, and associates and co-workers and stuff like that. But then when you got a lot of individuals who got the same kind of suitcases and stuff like that, but it's like certain that never leave a suitcase, and you be looking from a distance picking the dresser and stuff like that, and so then that's when you have to realize that this is going to be an uneven type of circumstance, and the spaceship is going to be lopsided, or the relationship is going to be lopsided, and it's always going to go in a direction towards where whoever got the most baggage, like a seesaw. And for the most part, if the relationship is always going in someone else's direction, then that's you pouring in someone who's not pouring into you. So it's uneven and it's unbalanced. And the things that you may necessarily need support in and back then, you may not be able to get it, and it may be used against you in some way, shape, or form as a form of a narcissistic punishment that God don't got nothing to do with, and things of that nature. And that's when you're around very low individuals and stuff that you may have poured into that doesn't necessarily feel like they amount to how much you have poured into them. So, when you give too much individuals the juice, they end up being drunk off the juice, not knowing when to stop drinking. Ooh, pardon me. And for the most part, in the first premise of it, they don't even feel like they deserve the juice in the first place. So they get something in their mind and figure out how they can go get juice from elsewhere, and your juice become disposable after a while. Then they somewhere watching Q and Bishop and Raheem and them and saying, you got the juice now. Somebody telling them, you got the juice now, or some stuff like that. Then you got to see what they do with the juice. But they don't do nothing but sit down and take shits and piss on their ass. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, that's when you have to sometimes charge yourself up. Appreciate yourself, value yourself, cherish yourself, prop up yourself, give courage to yourself, motivate yourself. You know what I'm saying? And when God see that, God help those who help themselves. Then you won't even have no issue because you will also be around in surroundings of matching energies. You see what I'm saying? Then once you know how to do these things for yourself, like love yourself, hate yourself, aka hate the desires that lead you into unwarranted areas that lead to frustration. You know what I'm saying? Learn how to prosperous yourself. Create prosperity for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Learn how to add levels to what you want to accomplish. Some of y'all expectations and y'all goals is like reaching for some stars that don't exist. So it's like throwing a rock somewhere and non-existent. Everything ain't always about an outcome. Learn how to develop a passion about something and let an accomplishment be just you finishing a project. Don't worry about the outcome of the project, because whatever it is, business, entertainment, education, religion, and if it ain't something you truly do, the only or part of who you truly are, so you're lost in validation. The only reason you're doing these things in the first place is based on what you have already been privy to be aware of the outcomes, whether it's money, whether it's success, whether it's attention, or whether being behind closed doors, but being able to substantiate your life. So a lot of times y'all don't do what y'all truly supposed to do or who you are, nor do you even know what that is. Then you'll be doing things based upon not looking like a dope. And then you only jumped into these things based upon expectation. You know what I'm saying? And then when you're not getting what's expected, then you end up playing out competition, hating energy, or self-sabotaging energy, destroying your own mentality, casting stones at yourself, not knowing it's all on the premise of something that wasn't for you in the first place, and that might have been the best thing ever for you, and God actually saved you. Whether that was a relationship, business, entertainment, or career, or whatever the fuck the circumstance you was in, God actually saved you. You just can't see it right now because you don't see nothing. You can't see God. You just looking for something, looking for a way out, looking for escape, looking for something to jump on, looking for somebody else's energy to drain. You keep being lost. You're looking. You can't see nothing. You know what I'm saying? But you're looking for something that you ain't going to be able to find. That's why you need to see God. You need to look for nothing and find yourself. And therefore, that's when you'll be in a better position in your mentality and the physical representations that it express. And that'll let us know where you at spiritually. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. So, yeah, I got to start getting on Rumble too, because Rumble, I ain't got to keep doing that. And this is like real spiritual high conversations, not from a dope, from a real sufficient, non-lazy man / divine feminine, because I don't count. I'm Archangel Uriel, so I done mastered both of them eons ago. But look, check this out, right? We got moon sextiling Uranus too, so you got to change something. You got opportunities to change emotionally. It's up to you if you're gonna do it or not. You know what I'm saying? That's for everybody. Y'all don't know that's the first mechanism, the charity, the heart space, the heart chakra that you manifest. And the heart chakra is connected to the moon. The throat chakra is connected to Venus and things of that nature. Mercury be floating around and shit behind everything, connecting the hip bone to the neck bone connected to all the dual objects you got, the shoulder blades, the kidney, all the dual things that you got as organs. That would be the Gemini. Now all the wiring that connect them together, that will be Virgo. So they're like one and the same. So the wiring is like your veins, your bones, the connect fours. But the things that's being connected is all the dual objects, the lungs and stuff like that. So that would be Gemini. So look at it internal and kind of look at the root spaces of all the organs that's dual get derived from, but behind and underneath the heart and the thorax area and stuff like that. So for the most part, that would be Gemini spreading out. And then you have beneath the navel, 5th house, the gut. Right up under that, and right above the sexual organs, that's the 6th house. And you could kind of like think to yourself, jump inside your body like Osmosis and Mrs. Osmosis Jones, and you could kind of be aware of this where all your veins are springing out from your immune system that created from your solar plexus ruling the fifth house and making all the organs like your gut and your immune system. But then the wiring gets sprung from that sixth house area, connecting your upper body to your lower body that starts the seventh house, your waist, and then below your sexual organs, eighth house, then your thighs, your ninth house, your kneecaps, your 10th house, your shins, your 11th house, and your feet, your 12th house. But going to your sixth house, it's kind of behind, just like the third house is behind. The third house is behind the second house, and the sixth house is behind the fifth house. So you got to be spiritual to kind of understand how these things plan and how it's sprung off. And based on the distance from the solar plexus, it's day and night only could go so far. So when that water cycle is spinning, the daytime of it will be right here in this area, thorax behind is Gemini, and then when Mercury is in his nighttime, that's when the water cycle, which is one water cycle, as a spirit, you're just swimming on a half of it, on the lower half. You know what I'm saying? Right above, right below the navel. That'd be the sixth house. And that's as a spirit, when you jump in those chakras, you know how to create many awarenesses, spaceships, and thoughts and feelings inside of it. And when those mind states bend in as adrenaline, it goes to the blood that made those organs. So this is how you control your nervousness or not, your nerves or not. So you don't have to smoke 1,000 cigarettes. This is how you control your this is how you control how your lungs flow. You know what I'm saying? So even if you was to smoke a lot, you can handle it. This is how you control your functions of your organs, your kidneys, so you can know your drinking limits and stuff like that. As a spirit jumping in that one water cycle, and then being aware of the daytime cycle of it, aka when you're up here, Gemini house, third house, and then when you're in the nighttime chakra of it, down here, below the navel, sixth house, and your nerve systems and stuff like that. Now you could do that with Mars. Mars will be the actual sexual organs area, eighth house, and the first house, right? Your head, your cranium, right? So Mars is that cycle, right? And then here's the thing. Since Mars, that water cycle is always expansion, distance, closeness, expansion, contraction. So it ain't up, down, left, right. So when we think about distance, further is just how we represent that in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension. So macro, you know, Mars would be further than Venus. So it take Mars longer to do a full cycle from its day and night for Venus day and night, Taurus and Libra. So think about the micro version I'm getting ready to break down. If Mars is in its daytime, this is one water cycle. And that in this location, every time you crash that water with other water cycles as an event, create a darkness around you, but light when you inside of it. And that light is a sun and moon to represent as that space. So with this one water current cycle right here, daytime will be Mars, nighttime will be daytime will be the first house, Aries, nighttime will be when the water cycle, as one water cycle, and you as a spirit is swimming in the sexual organs, the root chakra. You know what I'm saying? Scorpio, eighth house, right? Now, if that's more distance, right, then Venus will be more closer in its day and night, right? So the daytime, which technically it'd be nighttime because it's in reverse, will be Taurus. So the water cycle right here, when it's swimming right here, will be Taurus. Then when that chakra water cycle do a cycle, as a spirit, you're swimming down into the lower part of it. You're in the waistline, right above the sexual organs, right below the sixth house, the nervous, right where the immune system, and the fifth house below it. Right? And therefore, that's as a spirit, that's when you're in your sexual organ. So as a spirit, when you're swimming in these both chakras, you're developing more awarenesses in there to express outwardly. So you have sexual thoughts or selfish thoughts as a spirit when you're in that water Mars cycle. Now, when you're in the Venus one, Taurus will be right here, Libra will be right there. So you can communicate beautifully, write art, or be an artist, your voice box. Even if you're a female, sometimes by default, being a Taurus makes your voice deep, you know what I'm saying, or things in that nature. But then for the most part, as a spirit, when you go to the lower, the daytime, because it's in reverse, then you go into the waistline, and therefore that you start to express, you could have good relationship, good balance between your upper chakras and organs and natures and your lower chakras and organs and natures. Female mermaid, males centaurs, you know what I'm saying, half men, half beasts, you know what I'm saying. But it's just an allegory to your top body being your organs and of your higher logic left brain chakras that you create with your chakras and organs, and your lower animalistic natures, your lower beast natures. You know what I'm saying? It's an allegory of when we are in our lower natures and our animalistic natures and our beast natures, our zodiac wheel natures, you see, our feminine natures, our triangle upside down natures. You know what I'm saying? Now, so you can see how Venus will move faster than Mars cycle and how they canceled each other out. You know what I'm saying? Venus and Mars canceled, how they canceled each other out. So when Mars is moving this way, further, Venus is moving this way, shorter. Mercury's moving this way, shorter. And then you got the sun and moon. The moon rules the heart chakra, and the sun rules the solar. It's the solar plexus. Solar plexus, fifth house, the gut. So you got the fifth house, the house of the heart, the house of the Lord. The fourth house, the house of the heart, the moon sign. Fifth house, the sun, the house of the Lord. And when they have sex, they make Mercury. Then that's the third, sixth house. You know what I'm saying? Then you got the daughter, the second house, and the seventh house, Venus. Then you got the jock, the teenager, the going to college or going to play football or for sports or something like that, Mars, first house, eighth house. Then you got Jupiter. Then you got just the ascendants and the teachers, so they stay below the horizon. So Jupiter is the thighs and the feet below the horizon. You know, this is your ability to travel mentally and spiritually and emotionally. So as a spirit, before you made those organs, you made those mentalities in those space. And those mentalities, you was able to be in a spaceship that travel further than the spaceships that you made up here. So you was able to have way far out thoughts and stuff like that. So the kind of organs you made was things that you can use with your vessel to get up and travel. So you can't drive or walk or do nothing without no feet or no thighs. You see what I'm saying? Y'all get it? This is medical astrology. Now I'm breaking down now and stuff like that. Now and then when you get into the kneecap and the shins, Saturn stay in that location. So when you think it's your midheaven highest position in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension, in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, you jump out and go to dream world, and now you look down, and for lack of better words, everything is in reverse. So it's actually you're the lowest position. So macro, micro. During the sun and during fall and winter time, we are above that sun, and it's more distant. So for the most part, we are in the higher position, so it's more distant and things of that nature. So it's below the horizon also. That means below. So at the same time, that's what we are experiencing. And when you act those spiritual energies out from a metaphysical perspective, this is like creating a lot of things to be remembered for out of your mentality that could accumulate into the 1, 2, and 3rd dimensional world as success, and how the shadow government constructed it and being at the top down here. But when you die as a spirit or go into memory or something like that, you're being remembered so much that you're not able to pass on. You're being brought back down here. And every time somebody praise you or cry about you or be happy about you, and if as a spirit you haven't expanded enough that you could take another form and you could reincarnate, that's how you reincarnate. Teamwork makes the dream work. And you get born in a circumstance that the events that play out in a circumstance structure your mind in such a way that your body play out and lead into the same situation that you was doing in the last scenario. Whether you was praising another God or Jesus or something like that, whatever, you'll still come here and find that same type of circumstance and create another hell for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Deep spiritual conversations right now. I should just name the live stream Deep Spiritual Conversations. But look, check this out. I just don't be having nobody in the 3rd dimension. You know what I'm saying? Unless I got to structure somebody's brain first, think for them, then start pouring into them. And that's never a good outcome. I'm tired of doing stuff like that. I've been doing that I did that for the past 7 years, and no human showed me that they was in the space that I'm trying to put them in. Then I turned into an enemy. So it's like, God damn, stop that then. Stop intervening with humanity like that. But at the same time, That's why I have these kind of conversations online. Like I feel like I'm on the phone with everybody or something like that, because my spirit's so big, I can only manifest as forms down here to come to multiple people. You know what I'm saying? I guess I'm just not in that type of one thing where how y'all humans be in some way, shape, or form. It's cast on me like it's evil. So that's God showing me as confirmations through vessels, through humans, that I'm not supposed to do that. I'm only here to help humans do what humans already doing. Y'all like 2 steps from being demons though, but like y'all here to I'm here to show y'all to stop taking advantages of what y'all already got abilities of, because this y'all world. This ain't my world. I'm just in it. I'm just in it. I'm not of it. This world was made out of me. I'm just here to show y'all how to take it in the right direction. So y'all already got natural things and abilities and stuff like that. I'm saying real stuff. It gets deep. Like for an example, it could be a circle. Now I'm not saying this happening to me, but I'm trying to make this as an example or stuff like that. This is what happens to angels. Now let's say you're trying to be a director or something like that. That's what everybody's trying to do. That's what everybody tries to strive for, right? Let's say you know somebody that if you direct them, then for the most part, you know that your direction skills, your director skills can go far or something like that. Let's say who you could direct is an angel, right? Now, let's say they already know how to direct, but they just going to align you because they see that gift in you. You might take your director skills and take it and try to direct something that ain't the angel to show the angel you don't need to direct the angel in order to be a director, while the angel is trying to make sure that the director thing in general is taken off in a whole new way in general. Now this person will go hate on the angel just to suit some flunked out people that can't even be the star in no movie, so they can feel good about their directing in some way, shape, or form, right? Now here's the thing. This person still, or this group still needs to direct, right? So for the most part, the whole world just end up not being directors. And that's what they was trying to do anyway. So what was the point of even learning how to even direct better when you when you got the angel? See what I'm saying? So that's what God kind of mentality is of why y'all don't know God and why God don't answer y'all prayers and stuff like that. So I have to be a living representation of those circumstances to express that, so y'all can know what life y'all get ready to go into, because y'all always evolve. Eventually y'all gonna get to a space that I'm in, and then y'all gonna understand. But that's when y'all get to that mentality, make that kind of glorified body, have more control over what you're doing. And then once that's kind of all of us being a little closer now, that we can go create another body. We can go create another world. We can create another sufficient organ and things of that nature in an organism that could work sufficient for an organization or a corporation of corpse, dead mentalities and forms that spirits inside of and forgot how to utilize. So it's the walking dead, the living soul. You know what I'm saying? The soul in something that's supposed to be living, that's really just fleshly death. You know what I'm saying? So you have to keep that in mind. Real stuff. So yeah, and I think I do need to turn off the chat. I think that's what I start needing to do. Turn off the chat, because we got people in here talking about self-reflecting and all this stupid stuff. Like, and I clearly made a statement that I said I'm not going through this. So it let me know who I be talking to too. I don't like talking to dopes. I like talking to people that's in a position like me or whatever like that. For an example, a person in a position like me is not dealing with these things. You see what I'm saying? So we wouldn't even be in a situation of teaching it. So since we already went through it and it's already in a situation we can teach it, if you haven't experienced it yet, then you can hear it do individuals like us. It's not me, and for you to put yourself in my shoes like I'm like you, and you think I'm talking to you like I'm trying to be your friend or something like that, and I'm consoling. No, I do consultations, I do astrology, I do tarot card readings, I run a business, I make clothes, I got intellect properties, I do music, I do engineering, I promote, and I manage, And I do all that for myself. At some point, if you think I'm in that situation, you wouldn't see me with 4,000 videos. See what I'm saying? So obviously, I don't have director problems. Obviously, I can go get somebody to shoot my video any day I want. So I'm trying to put y'all in that situation, in my shoes, like people who think like me and content creators. We have accomplished something already that we have no problem to do these things. If you got a problem with these things, listen to people like us, like me, and you can go have somebody recording you, and you won't be flunked out day to day, wondering why things not manifesting. Thank you so much for the donation, Van Waddy. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Now, my sense of realness is for me to be relatable, not for me to be mixed and confused like I'm living a situation like you. See what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying specifically anybody in the chat, so when I say you, y'all take offense. My whole point is, if you're taking offense, you're not ready. You're personalizing too much things. You're lost in too much of your emotions, and whatever you're listening to people online about is for the wrong purposes, and you're looking for the wrong things. Emotional fulfillment. So anytime somebody don't present themselves or say something that represent your comfort zone emotionally and what you have been indoctrinated with, this is why you may be in a position that you are in, because you need to know it's a dog eat dog world. And for a person to even gravitate attention for others in the world to know who they are, stranger or not, means they went through these things already to have realizations. So this is where their mind state's coming from, to develop ideas that make a person like me even get attention. So you need to know you might be too soft-hearted. When I say you, I'm not speaking specifically. I'm teaching right now. So you might be too soft-hearted in areas you don't need to be soft-hearted in, which is maybe the reason you're not manifesting or materializing. There's certain areas in your life you have to be more tough-skinned in, and that's your only way of getting over in that area that may have something to do with things you want to manifest. This goes for a lot of y'all careers y'all want to go for, relationships y'all want to go for. You don't show enough courage. You don't show not courage, but what's the word I'm looking for? Confidence. You could have all the intelligence, but without wisdom, it'll get you nowhere. For an example, let's say you're in front of a manager and you're next to an individual and y'all both getting interviewed. You might have took years and years in that college curriculum to learn everything about that job, intelligence. But for lack of wisdom, knowing how to build your character to express it sufficiently, this could still make you lose the position, because you might have somebody next to you who got a level of confidence, but they might not know half of the shit about it than you. But their level of confidence convinces the manager that they should pick this person, because the manager going to start developing thoughts that, okay, this person sound like they will have it more in control than this shaky individual right now, that the manager not picking up your vibe that you got when you're not around the manager, and you took 20 years in that college curriculum learning everything about it, even more than the individual who getting ready to get hired before you. You see what I'm saying? So it's based upon that, based upon what I was breaking down. Without a level of confidence and things of that nature, that's half of the battle. And this is why a lot of times you see people in positions that you don't think deserve it, because even if you are an intelligent individual, you're able to observe from an outside looking in how something is better, compare and contrast, even if you're ain't comparing it, contrasting it to you. You may be observing somebody in a position and see how LeBron is better than Michael Jordan or some shit like that and things of that nature. But for the most part, if you're not participating the way you're supposed to participate, that's when it gets blown out. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. Somebody must be leaving a whole bunch of stuff that can't be left on this channel, because I keep seeing comments being left held in review. You know what I'm saying? So it must be a troll in here that's trying to troll but can't troll how I got this channel comments. You can't even say certain words. It won't even show. YouTube will block it for me. That's the best mod I ever had. Well, I'm saying, YouTube the best mod I ever had. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, when we start talking about circumstances and stuff, this is how you're able to materialize and manifest in things of that nature and get out of your own funk, get out of your own fart cloud and stuff like that. Now also we got Moon trying to Saturn and Pisces. So but yeah, so that let me know. But eventually I am gonna stop posting comments and stop talking on live like this, like how I would do somebody around me or something like that. Cause I got too many dope spirits watching me personalizing stuff too much. And I'm a damn stranger. You know what I'm saying? Person don't know where I'm pulling my thoughts from or anything of that nature. I'm like damn near stranger to you. I look at that as spooky people. I don't like dealing with spooky people. That goes for spooky females and spooky dudes. Cause I'm still in reality. I'm saying I ain't flunked out. Cause I know how that rock. I went to high school before and stuff like that in my real life, so I know what you do in your real life manifest towards whatever that you're doing in the external world. So I already know I just got fart clouds sitting back, adjusting my actions and comparing and contrasting it with their life without realizing I'm a stranger to them. Like, because I'm so deep mentally and talk about spirituality and stuff like that. So I have a person, especially a female. I have a female that's goddamn a stranger, but in her mind, since she watched me all the time or something like that, she know me based on what I show online and things of that nature, or whatever the case may be, and come up with something of how I am and how the relationship will be or whatever like that, and it never existed. So they're like, it'd be weird. Like, it'd be weird as hell. I come from a time where I don't even really know a person unless we just talking. You know what I'm saying? We talking and we around each other. That's it. I don't know nothing about this new online type stuff. I look at that like spooky chicks, because that I can tell they probably get like listen to 1,000 readings or 1,000 something like that before they do anything in life. I don't even want a female I can make like me. I don't want no female that's retarded. Thank you so much for the donation, Stretch. Kay, said cancers be the main ones having that problem. Uh, yeah, you can say that. No, all zodiac signs. I don't know why you singling out cancers. All zodiac signs. You know what I'm saying? Even Aries. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. Even Aries. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm spiritual. I do these things. So I understand life. You're supposed to do things in life first. Then understand the astrology about it. Understand the tarot about it. Because that's you in the learning process. Now you got something to teach. And it can become productive. Whether even you fixing cars, you will have a better way of fixing cars than others at that job. That's how you learn life and have something to learn. When you sitting back trying to understand something before you participate, you're not experiencing life, and you start living your life based upon what you're learning first. So you're never going to have nothing to teach. You're always going to be in a position of trying to learn. So that's not productive. Your productivity is going towards always needing to learn something first before doing something, even if you do it at all. And that's when you live life backwards. Now that's newspaper astrology, or that's divination tarot card. That's the negative of it. You see what I'm saying? Like when you go through life first, then try to find out why it's like that. Astrology and tarot card. Boom, you learn something about yourself, and you can prevent yourself from doing it again, and you can teach others before they flunked out it. And then you might be the individual in my kind of position, teaching these things like the million other people online. If you're the type of person that need these things first before you even experience, you might develop procrastination energy, don't do anything at all. And then instead of you learning anything to teach others, you're only learning what you should do before you do anything at all. And then the things that you do, you got witchcraft and blood on your hands before you do it, because of all the spell work you put in that was negative. You know what I'm saying? And then for the most part, you meet tower moments and stuff like that, and then not end up doing anything at all. And you ain't got nothing to teach to others and stuff like that, because you in your own shame. You probably experienced a lot of things you would never tell anybody, depending on how far deep you went with that and stuff like that. And that's when you start to isolate yourself, because you're living backwards. You're not living forward. So your life going to manifest as not being productive. You're not manifesting. You're not materializing. You taking one step forward and always going 10 steps backwards. You wasting your money and spending your things and your time and your money on things that actually is doing it the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? Like you could be in a situation just like online. You know what I'm saying? Instead of working hard for it, you might try to pay for views or some stupid stuff like that. And then get your whole channel deleted. Not even demonetized, delete it. You know what I'm saying? Because they delete people channels, you do that. Because YouTube know the deal. So if your stuff is getting done from someone else because somebody hating on you or something like that, you got to report it real fast. And if you report it real fast, YouTube will dissect it and things of that nature. And YouTube, at least they smart enough for stuff like that. Because that's what I had to do. Because I got haters. I got haters with a little bit of money. So I had to hurry up and put those few stuffs in review real quick. Like myself, and write the little thing and stuff like that. And they got back to me real fast. And I explained to this stuff and they kept their word. Thanks so much for the donation, Simon Steffens. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Now I still gotta do something with all the videos that's cursing a whole bunch about government type stuff. Now I still gotta deal with that part, but they still give me a chance to remonetize it too though. Too on top of that. But my whole thing is just for future prefaces, because I know who I am, just who I am. It's a lot of possibilities that can happen that I could prevent too by having other pages, and especially a female flight tarot card reader and things of that nature. And pages like that can go, because I'm a hard worker, so it don't even matter if I'm even shadow banned and stuff like that. I still know how to get the one too. It'd be even better for like, a female or if I find some men that's trying to build and they teach and things of that nature as far as their own thing in the world. You know what I'm saying? They're building like I'm building or whatever like that. But mainly a female when I come to what was going to be next to me and stuff like. But as far as that'll straight go to 100,000 views, no shadow ban. You know what I'm saying? No nothing. No filtering sigils or sage smoke floating around. Nothing like, you know what I'm saying? Real just pure nothing. YouTube won't bother it. And I can still be on top right there, and while helping someone else too. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't doing that with no strangers. Yeah, this ain't 2017, 18, 19 no more though. Nor is we in the time that's even sufficient. I don't even want nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm right now I'm going with the flow. But other than that, yeah, we in the time right now that ain't even something to do. Everybody need to be to themselves on at least from my perspective. Y'all might be you know what I'm saying, still doing all that stuff, but humanity is finished. I know that for a fact. When I just see the government beyond that little stuff, the government, uh, all these new things they get ready to put y'all in, AI, uh, metaverse, all this stuff like that. It's finished. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't even advise that from my position. If you in my position, I'm not speaking for everybody in the chat. I'm talking, like I said, y'all need to stop personalizing things. There's content creators who watch me too. But for the most part, yay. Uh, we in a time right now that that ain't even something to be distracted about. You know what I'm saying? You need to put yourself in a situation where you got yourself going on, and that's all you need to worry about and things of that nature, and just go with the flow, whatever, and let God got what's God meant for you. When you start trying to participate with everything, especially this new technology and stuff like that, I'm telling you, everything they throwing things on the wall and just seeing what sticks. That's why a lot of people that went broke off Bitcoin and stuff like that, and or getting a lot of money off that stuff, but it's barely anything you can buy with it. You know what I'm saying? So you'll be sitting there getting all wet off these commercial ads that, YouTube won't choose to have on channels like mine. So it'll be yellow and be like limited ads. But people who probably speak about these things, they get the green button and stuff, and rock a lot of lost sheep to sleep like I'm talking about right now, right? And these individuals will be investing and get wet because they might get a lot of the Bitcoin, but then start to realize you only could buy one or two things off eBay or Amazon and things of that nature. So for the most part, what was it good for? What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. God ain't fucking with that. But but they seeing with sticks, just like they did when they was trying to make everybody homeschool and stuff like that by default, based upon the Resident Evil Corporation umbrella virus, Resident Evil, right? And then it didn't stick though. It only lasted for a few months, and they was realizing the kids was getting dumber and more lazier and fat in the waistline, looking like young grandpas and grandmas. So they was like, nah, we can't necessarily do this because we're not necessarily keeping track, and the indoctrination is not playing out to the fullest maximum degree. And then they also they just was going to try to see how we react. They was going to see how much percentage level of people just truly do homeschooling, how much percentage level of people going to be excited and participate deeply the way they wanted to see the outcome of that online computers for everybody, and then a bunch of other subsidiaries. But that and beyond, other test tubes that they was doing as far as doing things in the air and other things with the law and stuff like that. All of that as a whole wasn't playing out in the outcome that they were seeing sufficient of the whole plan that they was constructing at that UN global universe table that they be on drinking coffee. You know what I'm saying? See, now do y'all get it? I got a broad mind. Yeah, so when I say things like I'm talking to y'all, like if I had someone to talk to, if I ain't just talking to God, don't personalize that like, oh, Dolo need a personal individual. I'm the teacher. You see what I'm saying? And where you think I'm pulling my thoughts from ain't from you and you to reflect on me. Where I'm pulling my thoughts from is stuff like this. You see what I'm saying? I got a broad mind. I don't have a small mind. I'm not average. I'm not human. I'm not normal. So even in when I say my real life, I'm talking about my city, my state. So if I'm making that an example as a teaching lesson, I don't want you to think I'm going through that now. I'm already not dealing with that. I'm already in a new space. See what I'm saying? So I'm just using that as teaching and things of that nature. I had a point. Hold on. I had a point. Yeah, I'm not normal. You know what I'm saying? So like in my real life and stuff like that, whether family, friends, or associates, that's why y'all don't never necessarily see it. It's always like I do stuff on my own. Then it's like I get benefits from it. Then people try to participate, but I always never cared about. I ain't never had validity issues. I think that's because it's Aries, but it play out like that for me. Not, but then I don't care about it already because I never had any of it anyway. So it'll be after I already accumulated shit. Then motherfuckers try to show up and pop up. Then when I'm already in a position that takes certain values or it takes certain expectations and stuff like that, a person say something dumb like that make me think is poor minded or something like that. They say something dumb like, well, why I gotta do all that or something like that. I ain't trying to do all that. I'm just trying to do this, that, and the third. Well, you ain't trying to be great. What the hell you telling me for? Fuck you around me for then? You just thought you was about to just easy way your goal while I'm doing something hard and you can just ride the way easy, then you don't gotta do nothing hard either. And then now you gotta do something hard. And you say, why you gotta do this? I just wanna be easy, I just wanna have a normal life or whatever. I don't wanna have a normal life. You know what I'm saying? And these be the same humans that be doing the same thing everybody trying to do. They just when you doing it yourself, that look like it's too much hard work to people, but they make it seem like it's something else. You know what I'm saying? For an example, if you making your own label and stuff like that, let's say you got people in your hood and stuff, and for the most part, y'all can become the new death row. But the way you doing it, oh no, I ain't trying to do it like that. I'm just trying to live comfortable or whatever like that. Then you'll turn around and see people trying to get a record deal. You'll turn around and see people trying to. So what is you doing then? Is you trying to be in front of people or not? Like I don't get it. Is you just don't. You just need it done your way, like the devil. It gotta come your way, the way you expect it, the way you grew up and seen it happen on the Welcome to Compton movie or something like that, or the Temptations movie. If it ain't no example and you could do it yourself and you got somebody around you to do, that's you look at that like it's negative or something because y'all it's lazy minded. I look at that like lazy poor minded. I'm like, damn, that's the same thing I'm doing. It's just you seeing the work effort behind it, and you want somebody that you don't know who already put the work effort behind it to put you in that position. That's why you're going to Quincy Jones. That's the only reason you'll be going to Quincy Jones. Like, so it's like humans don't want to put in the work and stuff like that. They don't want to make the Quincy Jones building. They just want Quincy Jones to go ahead and be like, yeah, you can get inside this building You know what I'm saying? Real. So anytime they come around, somebody be like, shit, let's just make the Quincy Jones building. No, I don't want to do that. That look negative and stuff like that. Why you trying to make a Quincy Jones building? I'm just trying to live a normal life or whatever like that. I don't even like people like that. Then what the hell is you going to try to get Quincy Jones for? And what you think Quincy Jones get ready to do with you? You know Quincy Jones about that money. You know what I'm saying? So Quincy Jones gonna be putting you in front of all kind of stages and all kind of stuff like that. So if you scared of people or whatever like that, you get out the way now. Get out the way now, because you definitely ain't about to convince Quincy Jones nothing then. You know, especially if you can't even deal with people and you got mental illnesses and stuff like that. You definitely ain't about to be convincing no Quincy Jones or nobody to put you in nothing. Nothing. Nobody about to be pouring in nobody more than the person pouring themselves. Nobody. Everybody got their own life. Ain't nobody that retarded. Nobody about to be pouring in someone more than they know how to pour in themselves. So if anybody lingering around thinking that you done got lost in the sauce, that's probably the reason why you got family issues and friends and association issues and stuff like that. Because you waiting for somebody to pour in you. And ain't nobody got enough to even pour into themselves nowadays. People do damn good pouring into their goddamn selves nowadays with all this rhetoric in the world and lostness and witchcraft and stuff like that. A person got to goddamn it sleep about 24 hours out the day to get enough courage to get up and actually do something, let alone pour into some goddamn body else. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. So that's why it's important. You got to find the mother truckers that match your energy. Therefore, y'all help each other lack of pouring in. You know what I'm saying? And that'd be a transmuted version of trauma bonding. When y'all ain't really bonding off trauma, y'all bonding on getting rid of and helping each other with traumas. But like I said, humanity is over. Y'all ain't gonna find that either. A lot of y'all are already married in relationships, but realizing it is not fulfilled in that area. You know what I'm saying? That's why I've been a tower moment for a lot of people's marriages. And a lot of y'all aunties, a lot of y'all friends and things of that nature that was together or even married, y'all didn't witness divorces. Tell me I'm lying. I have. You have. Everybody. And if you're not even living, the only reason you ain't because you ain't living life right now. You're probably a little young. So you're getting ready to. You know what I'm saying? It's a real sticky time because it's spiritual awakening. Everybody is, that fart cloud is wore completely off. Some fart clouds was lasting for 10 years based upon relationships, not spiritual ships. So people are just now realizing it really wasn't normal. And it took some people 10, 15 years and all the responsibilities they accumulated from it. Everybody just now realizing and trying to figure out, especially online and all this new information, the age of Aquarius and stuff was really the age of, but yeah, that's another video. But for the most part, right, which is the age of Centaur. But look, everybody getting out their lower desires and their higher chakras, and that's closer to the spirit without that one. So everybody is looking around to see if they're even in the same space to develop the energy that match. And a lot of these individuals you're looking around that don't represent that is a person that you may have been distracted by, that may have you shared a marriage paper with, or you shared responsibilities with, or family, friends, and associates that you've been pouring into for no apparent reason. And a lot of people are just realizing that now. You know what I'm saying? Just now waking up now, like, goddamn. You know what I'm saying? I'm in a shadow government relationship. This is not a spiritual ship. And everything that I thought was the right reason to be in this relationship have wore off. Whether I was dickmatized, talkmatized, billmatized, roof over my head matized. You know what I'm saying? Family connection matized. I met this person through this person cousin, so I don't want to hurt their cousin feelings. So that's why I'm staying together with them matized and all these matizes and stuff like that. And I married this person because I was going through a phase in my life matized, and all these matizes matized with the IZED at the end and stuff. You got to watch those ones. You got to watch the one with the TIZEDs. You know what I'm saying? The DI. You got to watch all those. You got to watch the ties, the isms too. You know what I'm saying? The asterisms, the mannerisms, mental illnessisms, the nesses too, the NESs. You got to watch all of which. All of it is witchcraft. I use the bathroom, y'all. All of it is witchcraft. Don't ever get the game twisted. Uriel taught you. All spells is witch. I taught you is witchcraft. and can, best things in the world. These are the best things in the world. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff, man. My pancreas be real good, you know what I'm saying? Real good at nights, you know what I'm saying? But can y'all guess the perfect word for all the tisms and stuff like that, right? Hypnotized, hypnotism. That's the root of all of those. That's the root of the spells of all of those. The tisms and the ties, the IZEDs, the isms. The root of all those is hypnotized, hypnotism. Y'all seen the movie Get Out? That's what I'm saying. Y'all think I just be talking in metaphor, but if you was around me or my bitch, you understand these starting points. I don't be pulling these starting points from jokes, though. I be pulling these starting points from spiritual traveling and relating it to how the Masons in that world brought it down here. And then I see certain movies and see it, and God put me in other directions, and I see it through commercials and certain rock and roll songs and stuff like that. It's like, oh, okay, and then I just got to get it out to somebody. Thank you so much for the thank you so much for the donation. Star Enlightenment, I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. You said, does sickness exist in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension? That's what we break it down now. Mental illness, depression is you being sick in your first body, and if you in it long enough, if that blood cell, that mentality represent the space you in, and it bends in and become your organs, and now you got voice box organs, your body language, and how you talk with that depression, and it might develop as a mental illness based upon the chakra and the specific organ, that whatever chakra you're lost in, start pumping too much blood, and that adrenaline, it turns into tissue. Now you got cancer or something like that, or diabetes or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Uriel came here with pancreatitis because I got a hernia. So I got behind it, I got a hole that never got fulfilled from the from birth, from strangulation. I got hernia strangulation, a nasal hernia. And then I didn't have the pancreatitis developed because it started getting swallowed every time this missing area start getting leaks from other areas in it. So to prevent it, it tightened up because it's trying to prevent something itself, whatever it's doing. So it tightened up, and now I got like a ball. It'd be a ball, tight ball in the area I ain't supposed to be at, and I gotta lay down for 2 weeks. Stretch out. That's it. That don't make the pain stop either. This do a little bit though. I said real stuff. This is good. So it's just about like moving around too much and stuff like that. I could tighten up. Eating the wrong thing, it tighten up. You know what I'm saying? All kind of stuff. Talking too much, it tighten up and stuff like that. It tighten up for no reason. Tighten. The Titans like football team. That's why they always losing. So it's a lost thing. Nah, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. You get stabbed every day. You could be doing nothing. Sometimes it hurt just drinking water. Sometimes you just gotta not do nothing. Real stuff. That's what kind of issue it is. Sometimes you just gotta not do nothing, or feel like you gonna get shot, or feel like you just got stabbed, or you just got somebody just stuck a needle on you and they didn't prepare you or something like that, and it was about a thick 10 needles connected together type stuff. Like nah, nah, I wouldn't even wish that on my worst enemy. That's worse than jail. I'm telling y'all that right now. That's why when Uriel be saying he feel like he in prison, y'all don't understand the magnitude of that. Y'all don't understand the strength and the courage that I come up here every day just to be me, and can smile and even joke, because it'd be fuck the world for real. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Andrew Douglas, real stuff. Real stuff. Appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. But yeah, real, y'all just don't know. And just to see the divine feminine down here treat me like they the divine masculine, oh hell nah. I don't care how it's filtered through, because I look at like I'm in a relationship with the universe. So it filtered through down here like we're fart clouds. You know what I'm saying? Like grandmothers and mothers and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Not just like, so then when I see it play out in other, then strangers too, instead like, oh hell nah, man. Hell, fuck the hell with this world. I'm saying real stuff. Like, the hell with this world. Like, I'm done with that. They make you think, like, man, the hell with humans. The heck with humans. Real stuff. The narcissism in humans. Yeah, so that's what make you think. It make you think like, dang, and the narcissism in humans. So yeah, you only could go through stuff like that if you're in a situation. If you a content creator like me, you know what I'm saying, real stuff. Well, some of y'all going through, you ain't got to be no content creator. I'm just talking smack right now. But a lot of y'all deal with stuff too. You know what I'm saying? To have y'all come to conclusions that you're able to learn and you're able to teach others and stuff like that, as far as to be circumstanced and sufficient, and God to manifest things for you. Well, I don't even like to use them terms, God doing anything for you and you manifest, because manifesting ain't really, you doing that every day, all day anyway. As soon as a spirit, you in a space and you develop a thought and feeling, you start manifesting those events in your life. A lot of y'all just don't like what y'all be manifesting, because for the most part, y'all be paying attention to too much stuff, and what you are aware of, that's what you start accumulating on your mind, and that becomes your events. So a lot of times when y'all don't have good upbringings, parents that's flunked out and stuff like that, it'll put you into a situation where you start manifesting things in your life that's not for you, and you don't even know why you manifesting it, because teamwork makes the dream work. Based upon you being aware of certain situations, what you heard, what you seen, and outcomes that construct how you think things are, and how you think is adding on to the world, so you end up manifesting more of those circumstances and situations. That's why it's important, if you are a parent, to be more privy to the awareness that your kids is having and things of that nature. Thank you so much for the donation, Star Enlightenment. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. You said, is it true universe is expanding faster and faster? um that's some NASA type stuff. The universe is really like kind of contracting, because ain't nobody using their mind. This is how the universe expands. The universe is nothing, so it ain't a universe yet. When each little space become aware of their own individual space as a soul, then what they create is awareness, and all that awareness joins together. So that's the mental world. So then that becomes the universe. All of our united thoughts and feelings in our as us as spaces inside of our first bodies, to do the first thing of teamwork makes the dream work. all all of our chakras moving in the way our space moved before we created that. Now that's the universe right there. Now to expand the universe is when we add new thoughts and feelings and awarenesses, and when we expand and move into broader spaces. When we stay stuck into the space inside of the forms that we did create, we end up just being in a mundane world. And then it contracts when we go backwards, not forward, live backwards. So you end up reincarnating, or even going back in more flunked out versions that look new, but they got the limited awareness that's like bacteria that you used to have, and things of that nature. It just might be a new form, but lack intelligence, because of the mentality was bigger, but the mentality lacked the intellect that the spirit had the ability to do. But the spirit could take so many forms that it expanded and contracted. The space of the spirit is so wide, it can't take a smaller form that represent a mind and a body like a bug or an animal anymore. So even when the whole spirit race still have to move along, just based on evolution, mutation, and creation, it based on lack of awareness of how broad the space may be, the spirit may be bigger, but the mentality still may be dumb as hell. So the mentality will bend in and become an organ, so it'll be a big parasite, a big bug or big organ human, like with the intelligence of a parasite though, the awareness of a parasite. So it's like, it's based on how y'all use your mind, for real though. You know what I'm saying? It's based on how y'all. Oh, we got a troll in here. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't like trolls. Trolls only come from people who personalize things too much. So everything become a personal thing, all the way to the point that they think whoever they listening to is supposed to act the way they got in their mind to make them feel comfortable with listening to them or something like that. But shit, if they mama listen to them and everybody around them listen to them, everybody around them will be in the same situation they flunked that ass in. They don't ever understand it from that aspect. That's why we sometimes people be having to get out their ego, especially people who become trolls. First of all, you have no business being a troll. But second of all, if you're trying to make someone, even if you're not a troll, but you're trying to make someone suit to your comfortability in order for you to care about them, first of all, you ain't that special. And then second of all, you need to understand our thoughts is and our feelings is what's manifesting as our actions to produce things in our lives. First of all, for you to even become a troll or someone like that, you're looking for help and you're not getting it in some way, shape, or form. And then on motherfucker, who cares the fuck about a damn troll? At the same time, we talk about spirituality and stuff like that. This is how you just go through your own cycles. Everybody got their own birth, life, fall, death areas within their chart. So that'd be a tool you could utilize to know what transition you're going through at the moment spiritually and stuff like that. So the first, second, and the third house is dealing with birth. um, the fourth, fifth, and the sixth house is dealing with life. Seventh, eighth, and the ninth house is dealing with fall. The 10th, 11th, and the 12th house is dealing with death. So for the most part, this puts you in a circumstance to know that when you got certain chakras, these are your spaceships to represent where you at spiritually at the moment. So anytime there's a transit, or when you're just looking at your own planets in your houses, it's letting you know where you feel most comfortably at as a space, as a spirit, based on the forms you created in each space. So each of the 12 houses represent each space, and the planet there represent the spaceship there, right? And the spaceship represent what kind of desire it is, rather what kind of spaceship it is. So for the most part, let's say your actions and your viewpoints and how people see you was a spaceship. That will be your sun sign. And let's say what location it represents. That will be what house is at. And let's say as a spirit, when you jump into that thing to be aware of it, to act on it and stuff like that, that's you as a spirit being in that location, jumping in that spaceship to fly in that area, in that house, in that location, in that state, and things of that nature. And when you look at it from that perspective, you're able to kind of develop a purpose in your life. For an example, right? My personality has to be filtered through teaching, or I wouldn't have a good character, and everything that I would try to do may not manifest. So I may not necessarily have to be a teacher, but I have to be a person that know how to express with his personality some form of wisdom, some form of, not even if we're robbing a bank. And that's how I'm able to manifest in some type of way, because my first house lord is in the ninth house. So my spaceship that represent my first house is in the location of the ninth house. So as a spirit, it's my duty to understand that. To understand, to know where you're going, you have to know where you come from. So where I'm going into the ninth house and jump in that spaceship. But the map I need is the direction of the first house. So I need to take the area and the spaceship of the ninth house and go into the direction of the first house. And the more I'm able to do that, the more my personality on a percentage scale, because every day is an uphill battle. We don't do everything right. But every day the more I express that, the more on a percentage scale I manifest things or materialize more in my favor than less in my favor. And then I will have to go into protection spell mode. You see what I'm saying? So for the most part, the more I take my wisdom, knowledge, meanings, and reasonings to things, that area I'm at, and then jump in that spaceship, the sun in the ninth house, and that type of spaceship is the sun. So that's going to be the spaceship that you're supposed to drive 1, 2, and 3rd dimension as your actions, your viewpoints, in which you want to show to others. So in that location, in that spaceship, I'm driving around in the city of wisdom, knowledge, meanings, and reasonings. Now, the spaceship I'm inside of is my actions, my mentality, you know what I'm saying, my character there. Now I need to go and drive to the first house area, my personality, personal issues and affairs, and bring everything I bought, paid attention to in that ninth house, bring it in my spaceship, my sun sign, and drive to the first house location, aka park when I get into the first house. My personality. Now unpack everything in my house that I bought in the first house from the ninth house area and all the stores there that I was aware of. I bought objects called wisdom, knowledge, and stuff like that to mop my floor with. Spirituality, expansion, travel, ninth house type stuff to mop my floor in my house of the first house. On the 3rd dimension, that's me with my personality expressing things with wisdom and knowledge anytime I express my personal character, personal interest, personal affairs, which is personal people, places, and things in my life, or even when I need help with my personal issues or insecurities. The more I take my objects from the ninth house to clean those things up in my first house, aka in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension, express that with my personality, the more I reap benefits instead of reap what I sow. The more on a percentage scale, I manifest things that go in my favor than things that don't go in my favor. And any little thing that's not going in my favor, it's a smaller issue than someone else who make small fish big and like sharks in lily ponds, aka make small issues too big. That's what I'm saying. So I'm giving y'all a game right now. So all jobs fall up under all the houses. I don't even necessarily have to be a teacher. As long as I'm using I could be a work at a car lot. As long as I'm using my personality for wisdom there. And therefore, I would make more money at that job than others. But let's say I didn't know astrology. I'm not Archangel Uriel, and put me in the same scenario. And I work at this car lot. But since I'm confused, I might be copying others. Sometimes I get things right. I'm living my whole life based upon validations and invalidations. So instead of me knowing my first house lord in the 9th house, sometimes by default, I'm doing first house when I express my personality and doing my actions in the 7th house. Sometimes, so anytime I personally express being too relatable or communicating too much, my personality may not come across well at that job. I might not be the one the manager always look at to give a raise to. Anytime I express my personality, like my son in the 5th house, when it's not, express it too goofy, or I'm trying to get all the attention at the job and stuff like that, not gonna work. Anytime I express it like my son in the 6th house, every time I'm at work, I'm worrying all the time and analyzing, no matter if I'm doing it for good purposes or not, I will get fired before someone else, even if they're doing the same thing, just because that's not me, and I'm not even into astrology to know I could save myself a lot of issues before experiences in my life, even without knowing astrology, teach me that. You know, you ain't even got to be in astrology. Experiences in life teach you certain things, and mentally you'll know how to construct your way not to experience those same things again. So you went through enough foolish energies to look at yourself from a distance to become wise, and therefore not be a fool again. But if you was to get into astrology even then, you would start to realize like, dang, oh, I had that alignment. I could have saved myself even going through all those experiences to come to the mental math to know that that was an issue without me knowing the mental construct that can actually be a thing. And I'm just thinking that I just came to a conclusion in my life because I just went through something, and this is the best decision to make to not go through that again. You see what I'm saying? So so that help y'all understand, you know, this mental jogging and stuff like that, and mental gymnastics, so you could be real physically shaped well at Planet Fitness and bring that mentality down here. And no matter how you look physically, can't nobody look at you in a weird way, and they may look at you like you beautiful because you got a beautiful spirit, and you may have an esoteric boundary that spirits already know to themselves not to cross. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you get things cracking in the spiritual world. Now also we got the moon squaring Chiron in Aries, so you may need to learn how to react more sufficiently to the mistakes that you made anytime you was dealing with your passions, motivations, desires, or individuality, or self-centeredness or selfishness, because Aries is selfishness, Leo is self-centeredness, Sagittarius is scatteredness. So for the most part, but with Chiron being in Aries, right, the moon is in Cancer. So they're squaring at this moment. So you're going to have to learn how to emotionally connect in a more sufficient manner without reacting all negatively and moody when it comes to the mistakes that's already said and done, and there's nothing you can do to change it. So it's important to get over things right now also if you're having a disgruntled disagreement with individuals during this particular time. So you're not developing more blockages, and because the energies in the sky is making you develop more ideas of how to dig even on more hole or burn even more bridges and think that is justified and it's for your spiritual growth or something like that. So don't let these energies wash you up under the current and things of that nature based upon what you have participated with the world for the outcomes to be what they are anyway. You see what I'm saying? So also we got Venus conjunct Mars and Leo. So with Venus conjuncting Mars and Leo, you know, your love matters and things of that nature may be all over the place too and stuff like that. You may go too far for your passions, motivations, your desires. So like I said, it's not always dealing with a person. It could be a place or a thing or something you're trying to get attention for. You may go too far and things of that nature, be too extreme, set the stage for it to be too explosive, and everybody can't take that heat. And it'll play out in a 1, 2, or third dimension as people may need in space or separation or some way, shape, or form, or maybe telling you doing too much in some way, shape, or form. So be aware of that too. When it comes to your love matters and the things that you go for, when it comes to the things that you love, appreciate, value, relate to, and what you're willing to compromise with. Also, Mars conjunct Lilith and Leo. Mars and Venus conjunct Lilith and Leo. So this might put you in a situation where you may feel embarrassed when it comes to looking at your love life, your love matters, your love language, your passions, motivations, desires. If it's not in a position that you think you should be in, and things of that nature, right? You may be looking at these things and developing energies that on your mind that you may be thinking that other people around you is looking at you like you're an embarrassment or some way, shape, or form. And that may not even necessarily be the case. So you may need to still utilize the Sun and Gemini to communicate so you can actually see that's the case. So you're not wasting too much second, minutes, and hours throughout the day on your own time, giving thoughts and reasonings to a false sense of reality and actually manifest that in your life at a time you don't necessarily need to be experiencing that. Also, we got uh Venus Venus squaring Jupiter in Taurus. So with Venus squaring Jupiter and Taurus, this is going to be you having to learn how to love and appreciate grassroots energies. Love and appreciate the struggle circumstance, the struggle business, the struggle relationship. How to goddamn it appreciate the each step of the way type energy in some way, shape, or form. Or if you don't know how to do that and you the type of individual who need things now, you don't know how to utilize patience or sufficient manners to actually practice loyalty or consistency in some manner, and then for the most part, you're not going to be able to build no foundation during this time anyway. But with Venus squared Uranus and Taurus, you know, they want you to learn how to conduct yourself in a lot more sufficient manner when it comes to the things that you want to get attention for and things that represent your creativity and your feelings that you want to express. So if you don't got no practical solution or things that make sense that for these things to be seen, and you're just thinking that it needs, you're in some type of prideful energy, thinking that these things need to be respected in some way every time you express it, your pride gonna be hurt during this particular time because you ain't having no grounding, practical, sufficient manner of grounding it to even make it look like it needs that respect. You see what I'm saying? So y'all need to be making sure that y'all not being washed up under the current right now to prevent you from actually putting in productive work just because you don't like the outcome and previous circumstances of you expressing what you creatively good at. You didn't see the outcomes and the likes that you necessarily did. Don't let that distract you during this particular time, because when the time is for you, like the stars aligning, you might not have anything in your back pocket, and then that's like a representation of a tower moment. You're getting ready to experience again. You got to understand what these things mean, because y'all be experiencing these things every day. And when you hear people talk about these things, you don't be thinking it's talking about you in areas of your life for you to even be attracted to these things to learn what's going on. So learn how to compare and contrast so you can do the right shadow work and self-evaluation also. You see what I'm saying? So also, hold on. So also, we also got say there's a residual filtering system, YouTube. I'll say real PBS. And we also got Venus in conjunct Saturn and Pisces. So for the most part, this is love, appreciation, value, and relatability being highly misunderstood of how we dreamt about it, how we imagine it, the fantasy about it. So right now, you may also have to come to grips that uh, your dream business, career, relationship is not necessarily going to be that you see it in your mind, nor are the characters and the roles that they play in your mind is going to play out physically. So stop putting yourself into a circumstances of letdown, which is just another excuse that the universe is showing you as you're just procrastinating at the moment, and you're creating things to blame that's not even actually in reality in the first place. So you have to be careful on that too, that you don't sell yourself short during this particular time based upon de-appreciating yourself. Ooh, pardon me. Whew, I've been waiting for that. Whew, I've been waiting for that for like got the 30 minutes or something like that. I thought I was gonna tear up or something like that. I was gonna end up having to cut the live stream off, and y'all ain't even gonna know what was wrong with me or something like that. I'm straight now. Lord Jesus Christ. Whew, man. Dang it, I know the sharp pain getting ready to come next. But I know how to deal with it. You don't see me sweat. Now let's check this out. Also, Mars square and Jupiter and Taurus. So with Mars square and Jupiter and Taurus, yeah, we have to learn how to understand that what we are experiencing right now ain't always gonna have something to do with our passions, motivation, and desires. So don't get all upset and mad and angry and aggressive in the lower octave version of Mars. Because every time our passions, motivations, desires, and our goals is not met, it gets flipped on the lower octave side of it. You get angry and aggressive and competitive about something in some way, shape, or form. And during this particular time, with Mars squaring Lilith, also, you could feel embarrassed about your position in life, and you might be in a better position than other individuals. So don't be disrespecting yourself by being ungrateful during this time. If there's a heavy fart cloud energy going on that God want to see if individuals are grateful or not, based upon what you have in your life currently and what God have presented to you and how you reacted and responded to these people, places, and things. So, God only going to give so much based upon what you show and what you express of your level of percentage scale of appreciation and things of that nature. Where, God will just lead your life forever to the point that they like, this little bastard don't appreciate shit. And I was saying, so fuck giving this individual a person, place, or thing or a circumstance within their life that could cater to their productive energy. And then now y'all really want God to open the window and stuff like that. Now, here's the thing, right? Um, with Mars trine Chiron, you might have this gift to feel like you're constantly making mistakes when it comes towards to acting on your passions, motivations, and your desires. Don't get washed up under this fart cloud. There's hidden gems in even going through things and proving yourself right or experiencing opposition and rejection. There's hidden gems that you can develop as an ability that can become ideas and feelings that you can express to actually put you in a position that you necessarily need to be in. And without going through that fire, you might not be able to develop it. So going through that little fire right now with Mars trying to Chiron is something not to be afraid of, because you're going to lack understanding a new expanded version of your capabilities and incapabilities. See what I'm saying? Because once you expand your capabilities, you also expand your incapabilities. But you also, from an equilibrium perspective, unbiased, you're in a broader position than someone who in a lower position than you. It's almost like looking at it like a millionaire next to a thousandaire, right? They still got to go out and pay their bills. This one person probably have more bills than the other or live more life than the other, but they're both in the same type of circumstance and situation. Also, don't be scared and things of that nature to adjust or have new abilities to your creative gifts and talents, because that's all what that is. You know what I'm saying? Going through any type of fire, pressure creates gems and stones. You know what I'm saying? Pressure busts pipes. That'd be the water allegory of it. Or pressure create gems and stones. That would be the fire attribute of it. Or steel sharpens steel. That would be the earth aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? Or getting cut with the sword. It'd be the air aspect of it and things of that nature and stuff. So keep that in mind too. One who is mighty with the sword. You know what I'm saying? That's one who is mighty with the word. Then steel sharpens steel. That'd be the yin version of the left brain. The yang version of the air brain. The yin version is steel sharpens steel with that sword. You know what I'm saying? So you're making somebody think, be more practical, so they don't come with a dual sword next time. Bullshit words next time. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you understand. And then you give that enough pressure for that to even be a metal, earth, that could be sharpened as a sword, word. You put flame to it, right? You put flame to it, and that pressure makes it a good gemstone or whatever like that. And then once you start to give it pressure and stuff like that, that's the water itself. Pressure busts pipes. That's the sharpening it up and stuff like that. The emotion. So all that emotion that come with that fire to sharpen that sword to cut somebody else, use a bad motherfucker. You cold. You know what I'm saying? Even though it took fire. When you expressed it, everything in reverse. You end up being cold down here, whatever you do. Whatever come out your mouth. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's like fire, flame, and hell in the mind. And sometimes they can make allegories to hell being ice cold in wintertime. You know what I'm saying? Now, for the most part, somebody said I'm a full steam. You know, when I bring all mines together, I'm lava. So I'm like a volcano. You know what I'm saying? That got like a little piece of air, a little piece of water, the only cusp of the air and earth, and then the little bit of earth I got Jupiter and Taurus makes it the little volcano. It's a little volcano. And this is all fire. You know what I'm saying? It's all fire after that. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much for the donation, Diane Vaughn. You said, will the validation and abandoned issues video be available on Doelowdapilotman? I'm going to redo it. I'm gonna redo it as a pre-record and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Because that live stream, it pretty much wasn't nobody listening in that live stream what I was actually saying anyway, from the trolls to the non-trolls. So I looked at that like it was just an unproductive video. So I just took it down. It's unproductive. You know what I'm saying? Knowledge like that need to be respected, like sad guru type videos and stuff like that. So if I'm just sitting there talking to a bunch of dopes and people catching feelings and emotion, for an example, I said a plan. I was like, all right, because you fight the enemy in different ways. So you are always in the lighter position. So since they have their thing in incognito mode, it don't matter how much I block them, they will still be able to comment. They can't comment now after they took it off incognito mode if they wanted to do other stuff on YouTube. So I'm pretty sure they did. That's why they ain't trolling. But for the most part, right? So in my mind, it's not for me to sit there and keep worrying about them commenting. Let me reverse the energy. And when you don't pay attention to negative people and feed them, they'll disappear. So I was trying to tell people that was commenting, and I explained it clearly. I said, all y'all stop commenting and let this person comment anyway. And therefore, since I can't stop it, and therefore they eventually get tired and start listening anyway. And then that's when y'all can ease in. But instead of going with the plan, people kept commenting before I got negative. People just kept commenting and stuff. Then I was like, then that made me say, why are the people that's not trolling, why are y'all commenting anyway? You should be listening. And then I reiterated the play again. Then I had to say, since y'all kept commenting, whoever that was in that last chat, that little shift, then they commented like it was emotions. They're like, oh, Dolo is trying to block us before the troll. That's not the point. My point is saying I'm going to block you if you don't stop, because you need to go with the plan. So we are not distracted and we're just talking, and this person is busy copying and pasting that we can't stop anyway. So let them have it, and then they just going to look retarded after it. And then I'm gonna make the chat thing not be available after the live stream, and it would have been a clear live stream. But once I seen like 3 or 4 people and their emotion about it, these are individuals that's not even listening, or even if they was listening, would even necessarily know my point of what I'm talking about anyway. They're just watching me like they're watching a rapper or something like that. So it was no point for me to even have that video up there and with all that dumb energy on it, because that ain't the position I seen a video like that should be in. I seen a video like that to be like Sad Guru, or not like them, but respect it like that and stuff. I got the $1 million knowledge. So I'll be trying to break algorithms and stuff like that, even on the demonetized free page. Thank you so much for the donation, Deanna Vaughn. I agreed, except you're like 100% sad guru, and that's how I feel about it. But for the most part, the universe be putting me in the position to like create circumstances to make it in reality like it's opposing me. And I'd be like, I don't even be caring about these things you trying to put in front of me to oppose me. So it's like I don't be understanding the universe sometimes, but it's like weird, because I make everything myself. So it's like the universe jealous. So the universe want to bring a lot of people, places, and things in front of me to like to do some weird stuff that I ain't even asked for in the first place. It's like weird. Like it's like I think the universe be thinking spirits and bodies need it. and it be trying to place situations in front of it, like it, because the universe is your first enemy. That's what y'all need to know. Like a lot of y'all probably hear a lot of rhetoric about the universe, like it's grandma Christianity. So if you're listening to somebody who ain't in Christianity, they made the Christian God the universe. So a lot of times you listen to these individuals and stuff like that. This is why your life ain't working, because these individuals came from damaged things. So whatever they went through in life ain't got nothing to do with the universe or their Bible or anything that they into. But whatever they got into is based on something that ain't got nothing to do with that. So if a person in fake woke community right now, the universe is the Christian God now. They might not think they're saying that, but it is. And I need to let you. The universe is Lucifer. That's your first worst enemy. Because anytime you try to bring your own thought, the united thought goes against it, no matter how good it is. And the only people who running around talking about the universe this, universe that, is people who became puppets to the universe. The things in the world, they start doing something the right way of how the shadow government made it. And the moment, anytime they stop doing that, they start losing the accumulation of what they was praying for and was thanking God for. But Uriel is wise enough to understand they just realized they was playing a role and they stopped it, and their money getting ready to slow up too, or anything else get ready to slow up. But a lot of times when a person be talking for or against the universe, when they be talking for the universe, a lot of times it's just because they accumulated some stuff in their life that the shadow government created, like a house, some money, a car, a good car, something like that, for them to stop being insecure, a relationship they got into, someone who lacked that. So they really getting used and abused and stuff like that. And that person just forcing themselves to be a fake version and trying to become that. So that becomes their trauma bonded relationships and stuff. But that's what a person really be chalking it up, talking about they did something right with the universe and stuff like that. But the shit that they really, if you really want to put their spiritual back against the wall, hold their piggy to the fire and really challenge them and be like, what are you talking about? And what did the universe do to you? They start naming a whole bunch of Jewish shit. Start naming a whole bunch of stuff that ain't got nothing to do with nothing about nothing. They just was lapdogs from the universe. The universe, and anytime you really try to do something on your own, you're gonna see how much the universe ain't on your side. Thank you so much for the donation, Star Enlightenment. He says is there a being bigger than the universe? Nope. We make the universe. The universe is all of our minds together, and that become the atmosphere around us. And that'd be the only being that's not a being. It's just like some organism that we're trying to make. And stuff like that we can all create a micro version for ourselves out of, and that'll be our new glorified body that we're inside of, what we created from the inside out. So as a spirit, we create the mind form, then the mind form bends in on itself, right, and become tough. And as a spirit, we could do that same attribute again and make this form expand and contract. That's why we got a pulse. So everything that we created smaller, micro, that represent how we accumulated the bigger for us to be inside of it in the first place, we got attributes to all those different sizes and shapes and forms, mentally and physically. Now, when we bring all those things together, become united, that become one form that all of us as spiritual spaces, each piece of the yoke is making a bigger yoke, right? And then therefore, we make a bigger world mentally, weather-wise, to condense to become physical, but it's invisible because what we inside of becomes invisible to our visibility, and then we can make a more version of what's visible, of how we make bigger versions. So we're able to use all the many shapes and forms and objects that we was once inside of as access to our hands now that we could build on as our body and houses and stuff like that. And then we keep being on that process. Make it a world from the inside out to be inside of. See what I'm saying? And then when we inside of it, we get to use all the micro mechanisms, how we made that bigger form, right? To make a bigger form. Then when we get into a bigger form, how that big, so for an example, the atmosphere is what we inside of. That's the bigger form we created as a micro. Then we created as a macro. Then we created all of our micro versions. Your own weather system, chakra and body, right? Then now, for the most part, all the micro versions of how we created from the inside out, the atmosphere around us, and us, the micro version inside of it, we can come together and create a bigger version. Being smarter mentally and connecting physically, creating technology and fucking. Now, when we expand this form we're in with all the micro versions, right? we make a bigger form. Now, the atmosphere we in right now is going to be something smaller that we got access to. You know what I'm saying? That we can use in many different shapes and forms, micro-rods, and make pieces of our body on it. So even look at that on a micro scale to even the nuclearified body we have. Where things like right now, the brain and the heart is important, but they pump on their own. But you can move your hands and move your legs. The next body, your brain and your heart might be something you can move, like your hand and your legs. And you'll have that too. But you'll have another organ that play out like the brain and the heart that might be different than the brain and the heart that act out on its own. That might be more powerful and more aware to have to develop intelligence to utilize the world more than the brain and heart did from that attribute. You know what I'm saying? You get it? So it's always when we go to that simultaneous space, the most lightest space, we're realizing the internal and external when we did it at one time and stuff like that. So when you go to that space, you'll realize all thoughts and feelings is under that pyramid scheme in all worlds. So you'll be able to understand we make this one being, and all of us together is that one being. So that being is us, but it ain't us. Just like your mind is yours, but you ain't your mind. It's something you use. It's something you make. So it's like your cells. Your spirit make your mind, and your mind bend in and become your blood cells. It's your cells. It's yourself. It's which your spirit used to represent yourself. But these things truly expire because every time something has a starting point, it has an expiration date. When you have a thought, it has an expiration date. The thought bends in and become a physical form. When you be born, you have a death date. You have an expiration when you die. So anything you create has an expiration date. The flesh and the fluid, the mental, physical world, and then the physical world that bend in on itself to become the be. But your spirit is eternal, for everlasting. Your spirit is eternal. Your mind is internal, and your body is external. So your mind is inside your body, and your spirit is inside your mind, and your spirit controls your mind, and your mind controls your body. So that's how you understand the loop-de-loop layer tie-in knot system you put yourself in. So the brain need the mind and the mind need the brain, but they both need the spirit, and the spirit know how to create different circumstances of these all over the place based on its ability. The spirit leave that information it was inside of, that mind and body, and based upon expansion and contraction inside of it, the expiration date, once that mind and body die, the mind cloud fade away, the body expire and turn into dust. The spirit keeps the ability, aka the size of the spirit based upon expansion and contraction. The form it was inside of, the expansion and contraction represents experiencing that awareness. And once the experience become outdated, that spiritual birth, physical death out of that mind and body. And based upon how much you learn in that form information, your spirit could have the ability of creating awareness that's bigger than the space it was previously in. So when the spirit, the individual soul, the individual space, the solo space, which is the soul, if it has the ability to create an awareness that it's expanded more, the awareness is much more broader, is get ready to experience. So that's the mentality, both sides, the thoughts and feelings that the space is inside of, to be aware that it's bigger. So the awareness is how it could be aware that it's bigger. So it becomes not unconscious, the awareness becomes subconscious, and now that spirit could be subconscious, the mind, and that subconscious could develop as conscious awareness, energy, a physical form. So without the subconscious, the spirit is unconscious, and that represents non-existence. So it's just space within space, like water within water. Once a space, an individual solo space, a soul becomes aware, it has something to be aware that is separated from another space, doing the same thing. That's why space ain't a vacuum. So once it created an awareness, that automatically becomes the subconscious. The subconscious, eternally, but it's external from that first presence that you created it simultaneously. What you created from the inside out of that space that was nothing, you created something around it, awareness. And that awareness is what we call an energy. But it's your mind first, your first house, the first representation of the space you in that we're calling the house as a spirit. That's why the Masons and the Greeks call the feminine energy, or the houses or the receiving energy, always give it a feminine name, or represent the feminine natures. But it's not even that. But that'll lead you into the train of thought, a line of reasoning of thinking the mind is feminine because it has the ability to receive. But the spirit is what they will be calling it. So you'll get confused in Western Hemisphere indoctrination, and you might call the spirit the mind. But no, the spirit, y'all conflate too much because y'all lost into matching things together as spells. So you lost in a mental spell. You know what I'm saying? So that's like me saying the water is a tree. That's how I hear y'all when y'all be saying the spirit is this, the spirit is that, the spirit is breath, the spirit is water, the spirit is an egg cell, the spirit is this. No, the spirit is the spirit. Water is water. Breath is breath. Air is air. Just because you're trying to make a correspondence to something, to understand something, this is my concept of telling you that you're lost in Western Hemisphere indoctrination. You're relating things in the physical world, or what you can observe in mind, to something that's invisible. And the better you have that, the better you know how to do that. Once upon a time, they called it an art, anthropomorphizing, intelligent, psychology. Not saying that the actually correspondence that they're pointing to is something that actually exists, which is why you guys atheists out here claiming quantum fields is an actual thing, where the actual term itself doesn't even make sense. For them to explain it like it's actually something. It's saying quantum field. Field means a field, a reality, a field. They're not saying the reality of the field. They're just saying the space that a field, a location, a point of reference, just an area with nothing in it, and what can be derived in it. And what can be derived in it could be a beach, a woods, a river, a desert, some bushes, but that would be the quantum things that we need to get into. And that ain't nothing but them explaining atoms and anything of that nature. A certain atoms collection in a certain field, aka a certain area, a certain period in space, develops the atoms as an alchemy for it to manifest as a beach in this field. In this location, the atoms may come together as a mathematical equation to develop a woods, a rainforest. But saying quantum fields is real itself, what you're saying real is the atoms, and then that still haven't been discovered because it's this water playing out micro, macro at different density levels. And at different density levels, y'all separating water and calling it different things. So water at a different density level, you'll call it air, you'll call it wind, but these are different density levels. But for the most part, y'all get so lost, y'all call it molecules and atoms and quarks and think that these are something different. No, these are one thing interacting with each other at different density levels. Y'all just don't go outside to understand that on a macro and micro scale. Right? On a macro scale, you can see one river at one density level at a current interacting with another piece of the water in your city, and now it's storming in your city. Or now y'all got a hurricane in y'all city. On a macro scale, how you think clouds, rainbows, and the sun and moon is being produced? That's what these things are. Not something you can land on. So any microcosm is that same thing. So whatever they call in atoms and gluons is just one water bubble at one density level interacting with another water cycle at one density level, and it's so small to the naked eye it's unobservable because it's playing out as air. Y'all just like, is y'all retarded or not? It's retarded. You know what I'm saying? Life is very simple, but y'all just go get retarded somewhere. Like, you know what I'm saying? And life, like, God didn't tell y'all to get retarded. God said life right in front of you, and you don't need a mathematical book. Then you can make your own mathematical book because you're not trying to create one being a fool. You're trying to create one because you seen the order first. Now you can see where they got right, where you come to the same conclusions, who's using it as a bias and rhetoric and for lostness, and how to do it the natural way if you choose to be the wise individual and do things fair. Or you could choose to participate the same way the shadow government is doing it. But you don't lack those abilities, and whoever told you you don't know everything, they a goddamn fool. You know what I'm saying? Now let me finish these alignments because we 2 hours in. I ain't even going to hit this with y'all. I'm just going to roll so I can stretch out and relax real quick and get prepared for tomorrow. And then get prepared to hit the road. Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. But yeah, I really need to get into start expanding though, for real though. Get it to real estate and stuff like that. I don't want to do real estate here because it's phony here. There's a bunch of dopes then I probably won't even reach the money I'm trying to get here anyway. So like, I'll try to figure that out too right now. And what's going to be most fluid and beneficial for what I already do. Because I can't stop. If I stop doing what I'm doing, I'm going to be no little problem, man. So I got to make sure I expand. I outgrown this little space. When angels say they outgrown and say little space, that's about 5 cities and states. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Depending on how much the angel be expressing and putting energy work in, that might be countries and stuff like that. So when I say this little space, sometimes I be thinking, dude, damn, do I need to go to another country? You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. Cause I could really just go on the you know what I'm saying, woods and lay down and stuff like that and enjoy the rest of my little life. I'm still teaching stuff though. But yeah, we got Mars yeah, Mars square Uranus and Taurus. So with Mars square Uranus and Taurus, you might need to learn how to express yourself in a more, because yeah, I broke this down, but for the most part, people don't understand it. So I got to break it down for the one too. A lot of times, individuals may not know that your way of expressing yourself may not have the sufficient practical manner behind it in order for it to even manifest during this particular time. So if you learn more of your individuality other than what you try to get attention for to suit your pride, the more that you'll be able to put yourself in a more rational situation and don't create no tower moments or bridge burning situation based upon your ego or your pride or your feelings about something. When whatever situation in front of you, you know, if you act more practical, that actually makes more sense and it can benefit your life. You know what I'm saying? Because right now we're dealing with energies where a lot of individuals may spoil their own blessings, which you'll never be less and stuff like that. But based upon the energies that people be in, sometimes by default, you may do things to protect the vulnerability that automatically by default creates a tower moment in other areas that you don't necessarily want. Because you got to start to build on certain energies to carry it around like an aura. For an example, let's say you want to do something. 9 times out of 10, when you want to do something or accomplish something, it's not something that you're currently doing. So you need to develop, you got to match energies always if you're the alchemist. So you got to go somewhere and develop energies of things you ain't done before. So it can play out in that area also. So start to add new ideas of how you're going about your creative gifts and passions that you're already doing, how you communicate. Practice little things. Go to the store on another street than you usually go to it and stuff like that. So your mind is starting to be aware of new things you didn't necessarily done before on a small percentage scale that don't make you uncomfortable, because it's just little things like even in your same area. You just going to the store just on another street. So it ain't something that you got to think about like, oh, I'm doing something new in my life. It's still something you're going, but you're still adding small percentage levels of little awarenesses of things you don't normally do or you don't see before. Then that'll start to accumulate second, a minute, an hour, and after an hour. And once it start to accumulate, you right, whatever you direct your energies on more throughout your day, seconds, minutes, and hours, hopefully it's for God, your creative gifts and passions, that aura, and whenever you interact with people, that aura is going to be around you. And that aura is going to manifest, condense as a mentality. You're going to have the right body language, facial expression, words to say, to be on the right time, to be in an event around other species that make up that event, that play out as that scenario. You experiencing something you ain't experienced before. And if you direct that into an area that you doing things, like let's say you make music or something like that, that's where that energy gonna play out. Something happening with you when you doing music that you never experienced anymore. You getting a record deal or something like that. See what I'm saying? And you was developing all that, not experiencing energy anymore in areas that ain't even had nothing to do with your talent. But you're being an alchemist right now. You're being a magician right now. This is how you know who I am. This shit I do. See what I'm saying? This is how you could be a stranger and you know who a rapper is. You know who a person on YouTube is. You know, sometimes these people do it by default. I'm giving you the game right now. See what I'm saying? This is how you look like money, even if all your clothes bummy. This is how you look like a good relationship. This you got to look the part. Once you match energies and know how to do it. And I'm kind of scared to go to, because this is a series too. I'm kind of scared to even do it, because even looking at how the mental illness one played out, I don't know. But when you know the energy that you're trying to participate with Even when it's time to fight fire with fire, you won't be carrying all this trauma baggage from your previous circumstance before you participate with it of moral systems to make you feel like how to treat people or not treat people. In that area, it might be events that play out that just for you to maintain your position and protection spells, it might have to be dog eat, dog eat. And if you're not prepared for that energy, that might not be what you want to do in that area. That's what I'm saying. Because every time you do it, the way any area is supposed to be done, even if it appear to be negative, when you're in a spiritual different space, observing it from the outside in, and you're not participating with all the world that accumulated in the first place, first you need to understand if it's something getting a lot of attention, there's something else but beyond your morality, regardless if you dislike it or not. Then you need to understand this, right? When you're acting out in a world, it don't matter if it's negative or positive. When you do all the right things of how that world is built up, how that industry is built up, you just doing it is you getting praised for it. So you really have to get out your thoughts and feelings, especially if you're in the music industry and stuff like that. Like I'm giving y'all game. You would definitely have to get out your, infinitely have to get out your moral systems you developed from your GMO ass mother and shit. And grandparents and aunties and friends that you grew up with that don't amount to shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go ahead and get prepared. Rehearse my little thing too. You know what I'm saying? If y'all want to see Doelowdapilotman in New York City and things of that nature, it's gonna be a live band instrument and things of that nature. A lot of y'all seen the flyer, those individuals' names on there. It's something that they throwing down, and it's beyond me. They got a lot of things going on and stuff like that. Beyond me, y'all check them out and stuff like that. And I'm just gonna be a guest, and you know, my little segment or whatever like that, I'm doing some spoken word. So you know, it's gonna be lyrical and things of that nature. It's gonna rhyme, but it's also gonna be put in the context of, you know, formation and structure, and also teaching and lecture. But then on top of that, it's gonna be layered in live band, like you listening to some, you know, summertime music instrumentation from the most spiritual band you ever gonna hear in a day in your life. You know what I'm saying? And then for the most part, that's a whole new circumstance we're opening up in the world also, where you ain't never seen no stuff like that either. You know, and then there's some high magnitude stuff. And then, you know, when I'm booked up too, so I got a lot of things going on as far as astrology, comedy, Jerry Springer type stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta participate with the world now. I can't wait around no more. Even though I'm not waiting anyway, you know what I'm saying? So let me even stop speaking like that, because I don't want to make it seem like I'm speaking to the chat and making y'all feel like y'all automatically soul group and y'all supposed to do something that you probably can't even take care of yourself. I'm not speaking, I'm just speaking as in terms. But for the most part, like I said, yeah, what I have to do, what I always knew I have to do anyway. Like, so, you know, I got to be my own assistant, manager, bodyguard, correlator, connector, promoter, because I'm promoting myself, and engineer, and what else about to call? What's the other one? Road manager, and things of that nature, and own what they call that, driver. No, what they call that, the other one, chauffeur, and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to figure out if I'm a rent a whip or not. I think I'm a rent a car, coming to New York or whatever like that. So yeah, so that's the better way to do it and things of that nature. So yeah, if you want to come check Doelowdapilotman out in the most loudest band or whatever like that for a good couple hours, if you ain't doing nothing or whatever like that, get this spoken word or whatever. And or if you far away and can't make it, I'm probably coming to a city near you anyway. So y'all start seeing a lot of the posts I make after this event and things of that nature. And I love all y'all from the bottom. Hold on. Thank you so much for the donation. Stevie Scott Astro, you said been watching for 3 years, still watching. We love it. Oh, I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Real stuff. Real stuff. You going too? You look like you going more than me. Real stuff. I just be tired sometimes. And thank you so much for the donation, Beta. Oh, I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Real stuff. Yeah, catch y'all on a late flight. Late flight, just be gone. Catch a late flight. You know, whatever that.